presented by Cadillac. What a beautiful Southern California afternoon it is for a little baseball at the Big Gay. 7-game homestand continues as fans filing in. We're kicking off 4 against the Cleveland Guardians. Here's what's on tap over the next 30 minutes on what we like to call the very humongous show. Yeah, OC versus OC on the Hill. We'll tell you who and where they're from. We're going to have an interview with Jeremy Reed. Erica Weston will have that. Mike Trout is back on top of the heap. What do we mean by that? Well, you're going to have to tune in because that all happens right here, right now. Dramatic pause. Welcome, everybody. Yes, here we are at Angels Live. It is another edition of the Marky Mark Show. Mark Langston, Mark Gubaza, and I'm just trying to keep everything together. I don't know if that's
I don't like your chances.
You are the glue.
Yes, the glue. We'll see if that can work here this afternoon. But hey, let's get things kicked off. Let's talk about the root canal game. Why don't we, right? So it was the game yesterday. Angels took the 6-0 lead, and Langer, they did everything in their power to give it away, but they did come away with the W. So what can you take from a game like that? Momentum? Do you look back at film and see what you can correct, or is it just about the W?
Yeah, you'll leave that to the coaches to go in the film room and kind of break it all apart. Angels had their claws out yesterday. They had that 6-0 lead. Everybody was having fun. And those pesky Baltimore Orioles, they just kept coming back into that game. And certainly it got interesting at the end. It took a walk to win the ball game. But a win is a win is a win. Joe Madden said that yesterday, and that was all it's all about. It's all about getting that W at the backside of that, and they were able to do it.
Yeah, Mark and Ken, I think what it comes down to is, yes, it was a tough one. You felt comfortable 6-0 lead in the first inning, but Baltimore battled the whole series. Yep. You're playing a Cleveland team that has played very well against the Angels historically over the last 6-7 years. So you take that hard-fought win and carry it into it's going to be a fight tonight against Bieber on the mound. So you got Lorenzen going for the Angels. So it's going to be a fight. You know, Jose Ramirez is swinging the bat extremely well. So it's a battle. So you found a way to win yesterday. You got to find a way to win today.
All right. So you mentioned Bieber on the Hill. We're going to tell you what Bieber we're talking about. Not Mark Gubaza's Bieber. We're talking about the other Bieber.
I oversaid Justin myself. That was close. That's why I'm just going with the Biebs.
I know it's going to happen. Okay, so we got 2 pitchers on the Hill from Southern California. This is going to be a lot of fun. A lot of tickets have been given away here this evening to see Shane Bieber out of Laguna Hills and UC Santa Barbara taking on Michael Lorenzen out of Fullerton Union and Cal State Fullerton. Langer, this is going to be a lot of fun to watch as the local fans are going to go nuts tonight.
You know, it just shows you how much talent in this Orange County area there really, truly is. These are just 2. There's a whole herd of Major League players that are from this area. Just great talent in this area. It'll be fun to watch. Shane Bieber is truly one of the best pitchers in the American League, and he is back on point here in 2022. There's no doubt about it. Michael Lorenzen, a really good first start. Second start, maybe the command was off a little bit. But Michael Lorenzen, he went to Fullerton Union High School, and they were called the Indians, by the way.
Look at that. Look at just bringing it all back.
And now they're the Guardians?
And now they're the Guardians, yeah. I think they've changed to the Guardians.
Let's talk about Lorenzen. We'll stay here right in Anaheim and talk about the Cal State Fullerton product. And Gooby, good start against Miami, not so good against Houston. What are some of the tweaks you want to see him use in that 6-pitch arsenal that he has?
I think the other day when he came down to that second start, it was really in that 5th inning where I think he was trying to muscle up on some pitches. He's going to make an adjustment, I feel, in this game using his changeup. He didn't use his changeup as much game 2 as he did game 1. His fastballs have been great, whether it's a sinker or his 4-seam fastball. The numbers say so far that's not something you usually see in baseball. His slider was crisp. You got to use that slider once again. Curveball and cutter, but I think his changeup is going to be a key pitch, especially against some of these lefties, especially Jose Ramirez in this lineup there today. But, for me, that power fastball, 94, 97, and he wants to go out there and compete on the mound here today. Take a look at our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. Go and look with that fastball, that 2-seam, that sink has some tremendous move in that lower third. 4-seam fastball upstairs, his cutter, his slider's a very good swing and miss pitch. His changeup is good, curveball, but when you look at the numbers versus fastball, in this day and age where hitters love hitting the fastball, I mean, it is amazing what he does. I'd look for him to get some soft contact on the ground with that sinker, Langer, and be successful getting once again, but look for that sinker down, back with a changeup, finish with a slider.
Yeah, no doubt about it. With that being said, the Angels defense needs to shore it up. They had a real tough weekend catching the baseball ball and getting those outs with Lorenzen on the mound. You just talked about it. He's got a lot of ground ball action out there. They need to really shore up and make those plays behind him.
All right, the Biebs, Scooby, I know I'm going to go to you on this because you kind of have to. Shane Bieber on the hill. Boy, has he been good. Back to his Cy Young form in 2020, but he's been so good against these Halos. Just 3 starts, but he's got an ERA just over 2. He's got 21 Ks in 23 innings. He's been just dominant.
You know he loves pitching. You know the team he grew up, but he loved it. He mentions the 2002 World Series Championship Club. He knows exactly what it feels like to be in this stadium. He's thrown the ball exceptionally well against the Angels. He's had his slider working this season. When you look so far this season, his velocity is down slightly. And everyone said, well, what's wrong with his velocity? He said, you know what? I'm getting outs. It doesn't matter. He's throwing a lot more sliders, but he's had a lot of success with his slider, whether it's in the upper part of the strike zone or lower part of the strike zone. Historically, against the Angels, and let's go back to our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. What he's been throwing this year, mentioned his average fastball about 9. That's down 2 miles per hour, but he's still successful with his fastball. There's that 4-seamer upstairs. His slider, wow, it's been incredible. You talk about a high whiff percentage with that, and also throw his knuckle curve, and he'll throw that cutter and an occasional changeup. But his slider has been so good, and he throws a lot of them. And Langer, you know that when you throw enough sliders, eventually you could hang them. He hasn't really done that a whole lot. He's been dominating with his slider so far.
To me, looks like a lot like Greg Maddux. You talked about the loss of velocity. This guy was never a power guy to start with. He always relied on command. He has great command. He knows where to change planes, and he pitches backwards now. He'll go a lot of off-speed pitches. You showed the slider rate, but then he'll finish guys up at the top side of that strike zone around 90, 91, get some swings and misses at the top side of the strike zone. So they have to be ready to hit. You can't go up there looking for walks with Shane Bieber on the mound because he is going to be around the plate and he's going to use those off-speed pitches. You better almost think right field, let the ball travel a little deeper today, maybe go opposite field, and that's something the Angels have been doing a lot of.
He's thrown that slider for a strike 70% of the time, and the opposition 1 for 21 against that pitch, to prove your point, Gooby. But on this too, you know, Langer, you and I were talking about his pace of play. He goes out there, he just throws. How effective is that, Goobs, when you have your defense? We keep talking about it. Keeps your defense on their toes.
Both of these pitchers are throwing a lot of strikes, and they work quickly. They don't waste their time. I mean, your infielders are on their toes. And when you're on your toes, you're going to make those plays. When you're holding back and take a long time in between pitches, hey, they're going to make some mistakes. You look at guys historically that work slower, they have a higher percentage of unearned runs. And that's always something you always look at as far as how many unearned runs you allowed as a pitcher. If you don't have many of them, that means you're working quickly, and the defense will make plays for you.
Yeah, and backwards, too. You mentioned to me he works backwards as well, which is very effective, and he can get that high fastball through.
Yeah, it's tough to have a scouting report when you got a guy that pitches backwards because everybody likes to hunt fastball and go after the fastball, and he's going to show you that fastball, but a lot of times it's going to be later in counts when you are maybe sit on off-speed pitches. You can't really think it through. You just got to go up and react with Shane Bieber. He uses that pitch com, and I watched his last start. He was shaking off before his foot even touched the rubber to get to the next one. He was on it and on it and on it. So look for the Angels to maybe try to disrupt that timing, step out of the batter's box, maybe try to do something different to slow him down because he's a guy that really likes to work quick.
You know what they can do to slow him down? Put this picture up on the Jumbotron. This is for you, Gooby. This is a couple years ago. Players Weekend. Yeah, just double checking here. That is not
Wait a minute.
Justin.
He's not Justin?
No, just to let you know.
You know what? I disagree. His name is Justin Bieber.
He's not the YouTube star, and here he is. That's got to go up there.
Which one's which?
Exactly.
That is
right.
Justin Bieber. Both sides.
You know what I heard too? I also heard that Justin Bieber actually got a jersey 3 weeks later in a concert and wore "I'm Not Shane" in his concert. So they had a little fun going back and forth with the "I'm not you and you're not me."
And I'm not you.
I think you guys should have
but the market mark. It works.
Hey, this has been another great edition of the
by the way,
Mark Show.
Welcome. It's a Guardian Angels series. Just saying.
Gooby, got to go.
Okay. After that one, I'm looking for St. Anthony to help find me then.
Drop the mark. Get out of Drop the mark. Drop the mic. Drop something. Just get out of here, will you? All right, we're going to take another timeout. When we do come back, it's time to talk hitting. Erica Wesson talking with Angels hitting coach Jeremy Reed next. Hi, Doc.
Hello, how are you?
What's going on, Doc? Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's take a crack at the bottom line.
I see it. Age. Oh, that's easy. That's highlights.
And the next line.
BRE breakdowns.
How about the third line?
LIV, live looking.
Perfect. How about this one?
PL Placata.
the analysts of MLB Tonight, bringing the new season into focus, only on MLB Network.
If you think they're excited, you ain't heard nothing yet.
Be quiet, win ball games, then I'll shut up and I'll shut up.
High Heat with Christopher Russo, only on MLB Network.
Was I did a little kite surfing before he came in this afternoon to the Big A. What a day. What a day to go out on the beach. What a day for some baseball here in Southern California as the Halos taking on the Cleveland Guardians. Welcome back outside, Kent, and the Mark. Not the other Mark. The Mark is with me now. Jeremy Reed's been with this club since 2018 as the hitting coach. And Langer, boy, he's seen some swings all the way from, of course, Trout, Pujols, Ohtani. He's got some young guns, and Adele and Marsh now. For more on that, we're going to go inside the Big A and bring up Erica Weston. And Erica, boy, he's got some young guys now. The Angels, they've been swinging the bat so far this season. Is Jeremy Reed happy with what he's seen so far?
Yeah, specifically what they were working on coming out of spring training. But in the ball game yesterday, timely hitting early, patient at bats late. The RBI bases loaded walk by Taylor Ward late in the game. But Joe Adele looking really comfortable at the plate as of late. Had that grand slam in the first inning, a second of his career. He's coming into this one today riding a 5-game hit streak, 9-game on-base streak. So very happy with what they're seeing from Adele, specifically the last week and a half or so. And I caught up with Jeremy Reed earlier today to talk about Joe Adele and what he's seeing from the offense early on so far this season.
The one thing about Joe is he's controlling the zone better than he ever has. There's some really good takes in there. Everybody wants to see the hits and the fly balls and the home runs and all this stuff, but sometimes good takes lead to those things, and we're starting to see him really come into his own, and it's been a blessing to work with him. He's growing up right in front of us.
Is things like that just the side of maturity and getting more experience with the game?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I actually have been blessed to be with some of these guys when they're young, coordinating in the organization and seeing Brandon right when he came in, and Joe when he came in, and Walshy as he progressed to where he is. So now when you start to see them start to really mature and understand scouting reports, how they want to attack versus be attacked, and sometimes it's a give and take, and they're all doing great things.
How about the progression we've seen from him as far as being able to, get on base or get a hit with the 2-strike count, but also his ability to hit opposite field right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think direction is a really important thing, and sometimes it's not necessarily where the ball goes, but the direction to be able to make the ball move to the offside keeps the barrel in the zone longer, and so now you'll start to see, breaking balls probably hit to the pull side, and some fastballs hit to the offside as long as he stays on it. When they start to open up, you start to see swing and miss, and it looks like they're swinging harder, but sometimes they're just late and they have to chase the velocity of the pitch. So using the offside of the field is very important, but it's just a dynamic of how they stay square to do it.
All right, we'll end with the reigning American League MVP, Shohei Ohtani, who has just been, brilliant the last time we saw him on the mound. We've seen a lot of pop from the bat. Joe Madden says we're just waiting for him to get hot. How would you feel?
Yeah, it's right around the corner.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, it's when you have the power that some of these guys have, and you have the speed that some of these guys have, and when I say speed, I'm not just talking about the foot speed, the barrel speed, the way the bat goes through the zone. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to sync it up. He's a special mover, and he's very, very unique in terms of how he does his work. He's very precise. He understands himself. And then when it all comes together, you see stretches that are different than others. It's like Mike. You know, everybody struggles to some degree. It's baseball. 3 out of 10 is good over the course of a year when you get 500 at bats. But these elite movers can just do it longer when it gets connected. And yesterday was a really big step in the right direction. The 0-2 pitch, the base hit back up the middle where he hold his firing position. It wasn't the early on breakers, late on heaters feeling. He was able to hold a firing position and hit the ball back through the middle, and those are huge signs to see for what's next to come.
We appreciate the insight, Jeremy. Thanks for the time.
Absolutely.
So Joe Madden really liking what he is seeing from some of his young hitters, so much so that he's changing the top of his lineup today. Taylor Ward will be batting leadoff today, followed by Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout. Joe Madden telling me before the game, Frenchie, the reason for that, he's getting on base a lot, and it makes sense to him right now to have him in that leadoff spot. So
yeah, 10
Taylor
walks in 8 games
Yep.
for Taylor Ward. Pretty impressive. Erica, great stuff. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you a little bit later on in the game. You know, I were talking again before this one, talking about hitting the other way is an art, but that starts in batting practice, right?
It certainly does. And you see a lot of the great hitters in the history of the game. We saw Miguel Cabrera yesterday pick up his 3,000th hit. I talked about it yesterday. If you want to see a pure hitter show up to the ballpark, watch Miguel Cabrera, one of the best hitters ever. Watch him take batting practice. He will not pull a baseball at all. The entire time hits the ball the other direction. We saw Joe Adell's home run going the other direction. I've seen Joe Adell since he first came up in 2002 or 2020, and his swing has really starting to shorten up a little bit. He had the big long swing early. Now it's starting to shorten up, and that's the only way you're going to get to high velocity stuff. So Joe Adell yesterday, that opposite field home runs, those are things that start logging in the memory bank, and you're able to go.
And it's one of those things, too, I would imagine it comes with a lot of confidence because you got to let that ball travel in on you a little bit more and have the confidence that you're going to have the bat speed to go the other way, right?
Yeah, you definitely. It all starts from your legs. Your legs have got to really take control over here. And Trout is really good. And when he's going well, he does it. Marsh, to me, is one of the best in the Angels lineup right now. He absolutely looks to go the other way. All these great hitters, when they are hitting the ball the other direction, that's when good things are going to happen. And we've seen it in the past. Certainly when Trout starts going the other way, you know he is locked in. His home run the other day, opposite way. His second one, he got a curveball. He was able to get that, hit it out into the Angels bullpen. So it all starts with the legs. If the legs can hold down and drive that ball the other way, you're going to be at an advantage because you can let that ball travel as deep as you possibly can and then react to it later.
All right, we're going to take another timeout, but when we do come back, speaking of hitting, speaking of great batting practice, we're going to talk about Mike Trout and also someone on the other side, Jose Ramirez. They're pretty darn good hitters. They're going to be on display this week at the Big A.
Hey kids, join MLB Network and your favorite players for a show made just for you. Play ball. It's all the big moments, bat flips, and amazing plays from an exciting week of baseball and tips to up your game. Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network.
Here at MLB Network, we believe routine checkups are key to staying sharp. Hey, Doc.
Hey, Doc.
Hi, Doc.
Good morning. Take a crack at the bottom line, please.
B-R-E breakdowns.
And the next line.
L-I. That's live look-ins.
Perfect. How about this one?
Come on, Doc. That's MLB Tonight.
The analysts of MLB Tonight, bringing the new season into focus. Only on MLB Network.
to you by your Southern California Cadillac dealers and by Jerome's. Catch the Angels action from Jerome's. Best seat in the house. Sign up for a chance to win at Jerome's.com as we welcome you to the Big A, kicking off a 4-game series against the Cleveland Guardians. Cruising around in the harbor before you come in. Why not on a beautiful day like today in Southern California? Welcome back outside the Big A. Kent and Mark with you. You know, two of the best sluggers in the game right now on display. Langer, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Jose Ramirez freshly inked that 7-year deal with the Guardians, taking on Mike Trout. And if you do a comparison since 2017, boy, the numbers are eerily similar.
They certainly are. If you look at Jose Ramirez, third in the MVP voting in 2017, third in the MVP voting in 2018, and second in the MVP voting in 2020. This guy is absolutely one of the elite players. You talked about that 7-year deal, the largest contract ever in Cleveland, now Guardian history. So, and rightly so. This guy is a guy that you didn't think the Indians were good, or the Guardians were going to be able to keep this guy because of the price range, but they were able to get that deal done, and certainly a big deal, well-deserved for Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, the Guardians, the youngest team in baseball right now, and Jose Ramirez at 29 years old is an elder statesman. They only have 3 players with multi-year deals. Everything else is a 1-year deal. So interesting to see what the future holds for the Guardians, but we know what the future holds for Mike Trout. On Sunday, do we feel old or not? 1,300 games he's already played in the majors, and certainly it's he continues to do Mike Trout things, hitting .333. He's been on base 11 of the 12 games he's played. He's got 4 home runs. We take a look at the numbers here and what he's been able to do. And you mentioned when he's going, dead center field opposite way.
Yeah, certainly when he's locked in, that is where you will see it. And nobody is quicker to the baseball than Mike Trout. That short, compact swing, he can wait on the off-speed. That's why he's one of the best off-speed hitters in the game of baseball, is because he has that short, compact swing. That ball's on the outer half. He has no problem taking it the other direction. We saw that the other day. For Mike Trout, no doubt about it, he is a first-ballot Hall of Famer.
Look at these numbers.
Right now he is. So unbelievable numbers for Trout, and he's still going. And again, last year before he got hurt in the month of April, 425, 6 home runs for Trout. He's really on that pace again here in 2022.
See the 7 players there with an OPS of 1,000 in that category. Ruth, Williams, Fox, Pujols, Greenberg, Ramirez, and Trout. That's impressive.
There you go.
Hey, you know, let's go back to the home runs for a second, because a fun stat came up. He's hitting his home runs at an average of 435 feet, the longest he's ever hit them this year. Is that just bat speed? Is that Mike Trout just extra working out during the offseason?
No, I think Mike Trout might be bitter because he didn't get to play last year, so now he's taking it out on the baseball this year. Certainly, he's always had that power.
Yes.
And it's when the timing is right for Trout, look out.
He squares up the baseball like no other player in the game.
He absolutely squares it up. And certainly, it's going to be fun to watch Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, Anthony Rendon all season long. If these guys all stay healthy, it's going to be a fun offense.
All right, we're going to take one more time out here on Angels Live, but don't go anywhere, because Erica Wesson just told us that there's been a switch in the lineup. For the first time this season, Shohei Ohtani will not lead off. We'll talk about the lineup next.
If you think they're excited, you ain't heard nothing yet.
Be quiet, win ball games, then I'll shut up.
High Heat with Christopher Russo, only on MLB Network.
You want that home run feeling? Then step in the box and let it rip. Get ready for the Major League Baseball Junior Home Run Derby. Compete in your communities and swing your way to the 2022 Junior Home Run Derby Finals during MLB All-Star Week in Los Angeles. Sign up for free at jrhrd.com.
purchase at participating McDonald's. Yes, download and register on the McDonald's app and make a little boy, a little girl very, very happy, or even Mark Gubiza, who really likes his French fries. As we welcome you back outside. Kent and Mark with you. Okay, let's get to this Angels lineup that's got a new look on top. Yeah, Shohei Ohtani for the first time this season will bat second. Taylor Ward to jump into that top spot. Oh, by the way, Mark, he's the only player in baseball with 10 walks within the first 10 games he's played this season while hitting 300.
Yeah, on-base percentage over 500. That is why Joe Madden inserted him at the top spot. 346 average. He has been getting on base. They're trying to get these guys on in front of Ohtani, Trout, Walsh, and Rendon. That heart of the order needs somebody. They've been looking for a spark plug, and you always thought that spark plug was going to maybe be David Fletcher when he gets back, because I didn't think Shohei Ohtani was going to hit leadoff the entire year. Now Taylor Ward's going to get that shot, and I think it's going to be an extended look for Taylor Ward at that leadoff spot.
You know, we just talked about hitting the opposite way and up the middle. Taylor Ward's got one of those swings that really just dictates that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sure does. It's really effortless as far as when he goes and attacks the baseball. He's not afraid to go the other direction. He's not afraid to take his walks. Ended up getting the walk that was the game-winning walk in that game yesterday. So he will sit and look for pitches. He won't swing and miss. He will make pitchers work, and certainly that's what you love at the top side of the order.
All right, and you love that too. Everybody in the Big A ready for some Angels baseball. Patrick O'Neill, Mark Gubiza coming at you with the call right after this.
This may sound strange. There's something about a park. The swings, the slides, the dogs. You can throw your food and wear it proudly. It's where showing off is encouraged, even if it doesn't always work out.
So, you in?
It is showtime!
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Jackie Robinson, 13 home runs into the left field stands. Here comes Roger Maris. There's a new home run champion of all time. I don't believe what I just saw.
Cal Ripken Jr. has reached the unreachable star. This crowd on its feet and in unison.
This one has a chance. Home run! Mike Piazza!
The Boston Red Sox are world champions.
Welcome to the first night of MLB Network.
Number 600 for Jim Thome.
That ball is gone.
106. That would be a new record. It is caught. Oh, what a catch by Mike Trout.
The Cubs have finally won it all. The Atlanta Braves are world champions.
LA, Valley Sports West, the heart of the fan.
10 years ago today, Mike Trout returned to the majors full-time.
Mike Trout, just 20 years old. Brought up from AAA Salt Lake, and look at those numbers. .403 batting average, 13 knocked in.
And for an entire decade, the kid has wowed us.
Mike Trout with another spectacular grab. There is out number 2.
That's insane. That's an unbelievable play by Mr. Mike Trout.
Halo fans, we've been blessed with 10 unbelievable years.
Trout with a swing and a drive to left center field. Get going! Get going and gone!
Let's watch Mike Trout continue to make history for the next 10. Tonight's game is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover moments that inspire. It's your Angels taking on the Cleveland Guardians for 4 here at the Big A on a beautiful night for baseball. 10 years already for the kid. Are you kidding me? We're fired up to see the next 10. No questions asked. Welcome inside our broadcast booth inside the Big A alongside two-time All-Star Mark Kubaza. I'm Patrick O'Neill. Well, Gooby, that was survival, I think, yesterday, avoiding the sweep from the Orioles. It took a minute to get it done. They got it done, and now let's see a little roll on home field.
Patrick, you thought it was going to be comfortable, 6-0 lead in the first, but it was a battle. And you know, facing Cleveland, it's going to be a battle, especially with the pitching staff they had and Jose Ramirez swinging the bat. So it was a tough win, but that's a type of win you get going as far as momentum, and hopefully that carries into tonight.
Yeah, you want to see some star power. It's on display on the field right here behind us. You got 2 of the best sluggers in the American League. Look at these ranks since 2017. Jose Ramirez and Mike Trout in the top 5 in homers, slugging percentage, OPS, and oh my goodness, look at the WAR.
Yeah, the WAR is the thing that jumps out for me. Trout and Ramirez, 1 and 2 in the American League since 2017. Mike Trout right now is locked in. He is hitting the baseball to all fields. Exit velocity been 110, 111 miles per hour, 6 for 12 in the 3 games versus the O's. OPS of over 1,500 for Trout, including 4 runs scored. The other thing I love about him, he's using the entire field, and usually, historically, and we talk a lot about that with Trout, when he's starting to hit the ball up the middle with some authority and deep, he's going to go on a long hitting streak. And then you have to do that with Jose Ramirez. Switch hitter with great power, 20 RBIs already this season with 4 home runs, OPS over 1,100 from both sides of the plate. He's very patient at the plate. He will get his doubles, he will get his home runs, but he's the one guy, I think, Patrick, in this lineup, even though there's some balance in the lineup for the Guardians, he is one guy that I would avoid in those RBI situations. 20 already, yes, I would avoid that.
I don't write the game plan, but I would say don't let Jose Ramirez beat you. Some say they don't like Mondays. That's not us. We love Mondays.
We love Mondays.
Let's get it going. It's the Guardians in town to take on the Halos. Oh, and we got ourselves an OC battle, bro. Lorenzen and Bieber going toe-to-toe at the Big A.
You want that home run feeling? Then step in the box and let it rip. Get ready for the Major League Baseball Junior Home Run Derby. Compete in your communities and swing your way to the 2022 Junior Home Run Derby Final during MLB All-Star Week in Los Angeles. Get your community involved by hosting a local derby. Sign up for free at jrhrd.com.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
fun matchup here tonight at the Big A. On your left, Shane Bieber, a local lad, as is Michael Lorenzen. On your right, check it out. Hometown for the Biebs, Orange High School, Laguna Hills College, UCSB. Lorenzen, hometown of Anaheim, High School, Fullerton Union, and yeah, he was an All-American at Cal State Fullerton.
Yeah, both of them are so good, so competitive. My Hyundai key for the game today. Speaking of that OC vibe, set to 3 by Sublime. We're going to stick with that. Michael Lorenzen going to go out there and try to dominate against Shane Bieber. I love the fact that 2 OC very good pitchers going at it here today. A little sense of and my go-tos for Michael Lorenzen to have a great game here tonight against this Cleveland lineup. It's soft contact on the ground with the heater. His 2-seamer and 4-seam fastball has been doing a real good job as far as keeping that ball on the ground, soft contact, and changeup to throw off the timing of the hitters. We know he's got a good slider and curveball, but his changeup throw that timing off, but get a lot of ground balls with that power sinker.
So this is the 3rd start for Lorenzen, 2nd here at the Big A. Strong against the Marlins. He lost at the Astros, so we'll see what we have in store for you here tonight on home field. And here are the Guardians' batting order. Miles Straw, he had an eventful weekend in the Bronx, to say the least. Ahmad Rosario, Jose Ramirez is just having himself a season. He's so good. Franmil Reyes is the DH. Josh Naylor in right. Owen Miller at first. Andres Jimenez at second. Austin Hedges is doing the catching for the Bieber, and making his MLB debut for Tito Francona is Richie Palacios in left field. And the sensation, Stephen Kwan, listed as day-to-day right now. So we're happy to have you here with us on Bally Sports for this matchup. The Angels and the Guardians. Here is the defense. Left to right field, Joe Adell. Brandon Marsh still feeling the effects of that stomach bug. Mike Trout, center. Taylor Ward, who had that walk. RBI game winner, Anthony Rendon. Tyler Wade at short. Matt Duffy at second. That's up the middle. And Jared Walsh is at first. And doing the catching for Lorenzen is Max Stassi.
When you get those ground ball action, it's going to be a lot of busy action for Jared Walsh. No errors in 14 games this year. Gold Glove finalist last year.
So we are underway. Perfect night. Still a little smoky from the fireworks. Thanks so much for being with us here alongside Mark Gubiza, Patrick O'Neill, Erica Weston on the field. You're here to root for your Angels, or perhaps you're tuning in to see which one of us messes up and doesn't call them the Guardians. Perhaps you got a little side action on that. I know they do in the truck.
What great movement early on. 2 fastballs at 95, sink action for Lorenzen. Has him set up, run a changeup in, or even that slider away.
The 1-2. The Guardians coming in 7-8 on the year. It's got swept by the Yankees. 2-2 fouled to the left side. Angels at 9-7, but 1 game under 500 here at the Big A. The 2-2 to Straw. And he got him.
Boy, another punch out with his fastball. In a day and age where you're seeing a lot of hitters with pretty good success against the fastball, Lorenzen's fastball and the numbers have been outstanding so far. The balance is good. Drive towards the plate, staying on top of that 2-seamer at 95, and a swing and miss. See that batting average, just 133 versus his fastball. One of the best in the game. And it's not necessarily always a swing and miss on a fastball, Patrick. It's soft contact, like we showed on the go-tos as far as soft contact on the ground.
Ahmed Rosario now on 2-0. At 176 opponent batting average overall for Lorenzen in those 2 starts so far. How about Joe Madden referring to the game yesterday as a root canal?
And anybody that's gone through that, and I've done that a few times, that's no fun. But you know, at the end, the results are always good after root canal.
It's finally over.
Yes.
You survived. There's a fly ball right field. Taylor Ward doesn't have to worry about any sun here tonight. And
let's take a look at the Arsenal pitch arsenal for Michael Lorenzen. Look at our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. The Arsenal, about 36% sinker, four-seamer 23, slider just under 19%, changeup 13, cutter at 9, and curveball. This is an occasional curveball, but there's numbers versus his fastball, and a lot of swing and misses and chases versus his slider. But they do have some numbers against him this year. He's got a couple flat ones, but staying on top of that pitch is big.
That's what we've seen so far for the first two batters, sinkers and sliders, but be careful here. It's Jose Ramirez.
Liking that grunt already. First inning for Lorenzen.
So he's going to be setting him up for that grunt changeup
at some point.
Any minute.
There it was. He just got underneath it a little bit on his delivery. Something he worked on hard in between starts. Didn't throw as many changeups the second start as compared to his first start.
Don't mind that. Don't know about you. 4-pitch walk to Jose Ramirez. Just tearing the cover off the baseball.
Used to run quite a bit. Hasn't had a stolen base yet this year. Caught once. But he's always a 20 stolen base guy. Runs well. And Reyes up here, always hacking at the first pitch. You got to be careful first pitch against him.
The DH, the big man, Franmil Reyes. 2 down. Check on Ramirez. You know, what a great job by Cleveland to lock him up long term. And it was close. There was reports that he was getting moved. 5-player deal to San Diego Padres. Ramirez got on the horn. He said, lock this up with Cleveland.
It's great for the game.
So good.
That's pretty close to the upper part of the strike zone.
Where'd that miss?
He's got to try to keep that in there. Max Stassi's so good as far as getting those borderline pitches called a strike. See this touch in the upper part of the strike zone and all over the zone.
First time for me to mention who the home plate umpire is once they miss one. Junior Valentine's calling balls and strikes here this evening. Okay, so 6 straight balls. I can understand that to Ramirez. 2-0 to Reyes.
Right after him, challenged him right down the heart of the plate, but there's late movement on that. That's the key. Sinkers with movement.
All right, 3-1.
So far, about middle of the pack as far as walks for the Guardians this year. On base percentage 326, but slugging 423 as a team.
Reyes pops that one up. Jared Walsh appears to have some room. Oh, he does! The final out. And a beauty. The reach, the glove, and the third out. Shane Bieber is on the bump when we come back.
Getting outdoors is all about the experience, the thrills, the rides, the memories. We put that in a bottle. Clean ingredients like coconut oil, activated charcoal, and shea butter. Everyman Jack, naturally derived, outdoor inspired.
Prescription eyewear can be really expensive, but here's a secret. Glasses don't actually cost that much to make. Surprise! Especially when you design your own eyewear and then sell it directly to your customers, like we do. Oh, hi, we're Warby Parker. Our glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. And the best part? You can try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
This is the planning effect. If Raina's thinking about retirement, she'll get some help from Fidelity to envision what's possible. Fidelity can help her prioritize her goals by looking at her full financial picture. Plus, they'll help her pick an investment strategy, one she's comfortable with. And with a clear plan to get to retirement, Raina can enjoy wherever she's headed next. That's the planning effect from Fidelity.
Is now leading off, playing right. Shohei Ohtani. We saw this so much last year. Now in the 2-hole, followed by Mike Trout. Jared Walsh hitting cleanup, followed by Anthony Rendon. Matt Duffy. Joe Adell, who had that grand slam yesterday, is in left field. Max Stassi doing the catching, and Tyler Wade is at shortstop. And this is Shane Bieber. And one thing about Bieber is he will attack you, but the velo's down, but doesn't matter. He will not walk you. He'll go after you.
Bottom line, he's saying the same thing. Out is an out, whether it's high velocity fastball or swing and miss on a slider. He throws that four-seam fastball, Patrick, at a great spot. That's at 90. It's that unhittable upper part of the strike zone spot.
Bieber, the AL Cy Young Award winner in 2020, won that Triple Crown in that COVID-shortened season. How about Ward, though? What a great start for him. I mean, his on-base percentage at .528. He already has 10 walks.
That's the difference maker, that slider for Shane Bieber. He works quickly. Both these pitchers not waste time in between pitches. They are in attack mode right away.
1-2 to Ward. Yeah. Got him.
Like that fastball had the illusion as if it was riding up in the upper part of the strike zone. He released the four-seamer and just rides up in the zone.
Bieber's already worked 16 innings this year, 16 strikeouts. That's number 17. This is also number 17, Shohei Ohtani, who yesterday had the high socks and just the one sleeve. Today he's got a haircut. So the high socks worked. If you're trying to get out of a slump, he did. 0 for 11, high and tight.
Yes.
Handsome young man. Two to Ohtani. 2-1. How do you feel about this little wrinkle to the batting order?
Gives an opportunity for Shohei Ohtani to see some pitches before he starts the game. I think it's a good idea because he could do so much damage hitting the baseball, but an opportunity for him to see some pitches.
Good count here, 3-1. What do you think? That catch a piece?
Little cutter.
Pretty close.
A little bit off the plate.
Well, you got two stars. You got Bieber, who gets the call there, but Ohtani.
Hedges is real good behind the plate defensively for Cleveland.
Did he check? No, they said he went down there at third as Roberto Ortiz rings him up.
Let's see if Shohei went after this one. No chance did he go after that one. He held up. I think the bottom line is sometimes when he moves his body, it gives the umpire a better look because of his shoulder open up. But that bat didn't even come close to crossing the plate.
What do you think Ortiz is looking at? I mean, this is always so
he's seeing the body, but the bat is back behind the plate. It's not a swing.
2 down for Mike Trout. How about this matchup? No score, bottom of the first, 2 outs. Bieber versus Trout, 1-1. Yeah, he does work quick.
Yep.
I think this is about 17 seconds between pitches.
And it's all the pitch comm too, and they have a pretty good idea. He'll walk up to the pitching rubber. He'll say no if he doesn't like it before he gets up to the rubber, but it looks like he's going through the signs here though.
Trout hits that one. Rosario is going to run that one off the field. Everything they do is in a hurry. Shohei Ohtani, though, would perhaps like an explanation. Not going to get one.
Take control of your health. by boosting your force field, the immune system. With the Aura Ring, you can listen to your body's signals and raise your defenses. Aura tells you when your temperature is higher than normal, how to improve your sleep, or if your heart rate shows signs of stress, so you can decide to push yourself or to lie low. Live smarter, stronger, healthier with the Aura Ring. Aura.
ButcherBox. We deliver high-quality meat to your door. What happens next is up to you.
Of the second inning, as the guys were just talking about, a new look to the top of the Angels lineup today with Taylor Ward in that leadoff spot today. And the reason being, according to Joe Maddon, is very simple. He's doing a great job getting on base, and he said that makes the most sense to him right now. He said before the game today that Ward has the ability to shut down bad pitches, and he thought he would be wasting his services by not putting him up higher in the order. So it was all about protection for Shohei and Trout before. Now he wants to see him set it up. And guys, we may see him in that leadoff spot for a while.
Erica, how about that RBI walk yesterday? Taylor saying afterwards what he was in full take mode there, full count.
Absolutely, and Joe Maddon said that was the sign of a very self-confident guy at the plate, and he looks very comfortable in there as well.
All right, thank you, Erica. Here's Josh Naylor, 1-1, second inning of work for Lorenzen. That's a pop-up. Joe Adell out number one. So this at bat, Gooby, he had to battle. There it is. That's the 3-2. But there was a lot of. There's like a 3-1. He's 3-2, foul, and then. So what do you think is it, or why would he take that from Batista there?
Because he was throwing high 90s. He wasn't seeing the baseball well. There was a couple sliders even in that sequence. He was hoping. He figured that at some point, because he was around the strike zone all the way up to that 3-2 pitch, you think, you know what, I have a better chance of working a walk. He didn't feel he could throw a strike with that. And that was the rumor and the conversation about Batista. Really good stuff, but not exactly a power guy in the zone too often.
Turned out to be an enormous play from 6-0 in the first, thinking we're going to have a laugher. 3.5 hours later, it's tied up. It was a big AB from Ward. And a huge win for the Halos. Let's not underestimate how big that was. You want to come into this series having lost 3 in a row? No chance. That was big. Got it done. Now let's maybe go on a little bit of a roll. So here's Owen Miller, 2-0.
Already 9 extra base hits. Mike Lorenzen's wondering where some of those pitches are. They were a little bit off the plate. Some movement. It's almost like you have to trust movement on your fastball. Start at the middle and move it out of the middle part of the plate. See, that's where you have to trust. Start middle, movement. Start that in the middle, and it's going to run that down, and in. So far, Owen Miller's done a real nice job as far as going left center, right center on pitches, especially elevated ones.
Leadoff walk. No, excuse me, 1 down. But Owen Miller walks. Right now, we'll give you a quick word from Hyundai.
It's your journey. Own it in the Hyundai Santa Fe.
So here's Andres Jimenez. 1 out, 1 on. Nice to turn a double play just like that game ended last night.
Yeah, Lorenzen so far this season, a 56% ground ball rate.
Squares the bunt. Doesn't get past Lorenzen. He's over there for the second out.
Good athlete. We know he can play the field. He's played center field, so you know he can cover some ground defensively as a pitcher. And that has to be part of the conversation for the Guardians as far as, can we try a push bunt, drag bunt? But you have a pitcher on the mound that's so athletic, kind of like Shohei Ohtani, that it covers that ground, allows your corner infielders to play a little bit deeper and take away potential doubles down the line.
Mentioned this before, just how strong Lorenzen is. He told me pull-ups was his thing. Thinks he still has that school record at Fullerton of 38. Throw down. Does it get past? No. Duffy's able to keep in front of him, and Miller stays right there. Considering, you know, Mark, listen, we could pull up some old photos of you. You know, you had the gun show working quite a bit, but Lorenzen has ridiculous biceps, and to be able to have that amount of flexibility at that position, I think is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, and great footwork. You see by that pickoff. What you're doing, not necessarily always picking them off, but keep them closer on a secondary lead, and give your outfielders a chance if there's a base hit towards him in the outfield. So yes, you would love to pick them off, but your goal is to reduce that secondary lead. And when Miller runs pretty well, you just want to keep him close enough to second. That's what Duffy's been able to do so far.
Just misses upstairs, 2-0. Lorenzen still wants to get that call on the upper part of the zone. Not happening.
Big pitch here now for Lorenzen. Hedges, he has good power.
In there. 2-1.
There's some swing and misses in that, but for the local product, Jay Serra, very good defender. He's got good power, though, so you can't make a mistake.
Swing and a miss. 2-2.
That's not your ideal spot for a slider there, Patrick. That's one of those mistakes. You get away with that on occasion. I think he might have been looking fastball, but that's in that upper part. You can see by his swing, he was just underneath it.
Ground ball. Walsh over to Lorenzen. And that's a PFP working to perfection right there. No score.
Hey kids, join MLB Network and your favorite players for a show made just for you. Play ball. It's all the big moments, bat flips, and amazing plays from an exciting week of baseball and tips to up your game. Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network.
You want that home run feeling? Then step in the box and let it rip. Get ready for the Major League Baseball Junior Home Run Derby. Compete in your communities and swing your way to the 2022 Junior Home Run Derby Final during MLB All-Star Week in Los Angeles. Get your community involved by hosting a local derby. Sign up for free at jrhrd.com.
No score, bottom of the second. Shane Bieber now facing Jared Walsh. Bieber, a perfect bottom of the first. KK, and a little line drive by Trout to the shortstop. And Walsh swinging at the first pitch. That's one down. Owen Miller retires Walsh.
Let's take a look at the pitch arsenal for Shane Bieber. StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. 4-seam fastball, 40% that upper part of the zone. The slider at 37%, just an 0.48 batting average. Knuckle curves effective for him. Cutter, although he doesn't throw as many as he used to, and an occasional changeup. Really, it's his slider that he has working, and he's got a great feel for that pitch right now.
Yeah, that slider, when he throws it first, he's throwing it for a strike 70% of the time that he uses it. He's getting 42% whiffs. Batters are 1 for 21 against it.
And I would be swinging first pitch against him. That's not a bad idea for Walsh. Hit it well. Historically, 355 batting average, 10 home runs, and a 598 slugging percentage on the first pitch put in play against Shane Bieber. The longer the at bat, the harder it is to make good contact.
1-0 to Rendon. Fly ball, left field. And that's the first put out in Richie Palacios' career, making his MLB debut. So here's where this slider ranks, minimum 50 thrown.
Look at the batting average, opponent's OPS, 226 versus slider. Whiff percentage, a little over 42% with this slider. And a slider's a pitch, Patio, if you throw it a lot, eventually it flattens out. And that's the baseball could be hit a long way, but he hasn't had that issue yet this year. Bouncing back from that shoulder issue, rotator cuff issue last year. It looks good this season.
Matt Duffy takes a strike. His velo, we mentioned it, from 2019 was averaging on that fastball 93.1. This year it's 90, but
he spots it. It's almost like he can place this fastball all 4 quadrants of the strike zone with relative ease.
The slider usage, though, goes up as that fastball velo has gone down, but still so effective.
Grew up a huge Angels fan.
Duffy, line drive, base hit.
Everyone's probably thinking, how can Matt Duffy be in there? But his splits versus right-handed pitching versus left-handed pitching better against righties, and a line drive out the middle here for Matt Duffy right away. On base percentage of 419, go up a little bit with that swing. Nice balance it through the baseball there for Matt Duffy, using that middle of the field. Love to hear that and see that.
It's just such a great sound when he's squared up like that. So here's Joe Adell with 2 down.
Yeah, Joe was seeing some first pitch fastballs. He was guessing with them. Got a slider first pitch.
Yesterday versus Baltimore, and 4 RBI with the grand slam. First game of the year without a strikeout.
Leaning. 3 career pickoffs for Bieber. He's allowed 16 stolen bases in 29 attempts. Good footwork he has. Quick throw to first.
Ahead of Adell, 0-2.
But I still think you got to press the issue and try to steal some bases. When you're facing a pitcher like Shane Bieber, the guy that's had a lot of success against the Angels, 3-0 with an ERA just over 2, you have to force the issue. Take some chances. Maybe make him aware of the running game, and maybe a couple of those sliders flatten out over the plate.
There's the 0-2. Nice piece of hitting from Adell. Duffy, first to third. Here's the throw. Adell going to second. That's just too much speed.
Boy, you know, thinking you're already got a guy in scoring position, but he just turned on the afterburners on an 0-2 pitch. Base hit, 2 0-2 hits down in Houston for Joe Adell. Continues to get those base hits with 2 strikes. He's trying to shorten up a swing, sees that down, and he notices the throws maybe going into third, and he turned on the afterburners. That's great to see that speed sliding in there. An opportunity here. You got to cash in before Bieber settles down.
There's the rookie Palacios, maybe not aware. That's just, you can't teach that speed from Joe Adell. So a chance now.
See, the big thing, too, with that, Patrick, you've taken away a potential force out at second, so there's a ground ball in the hole. Then you have that easier play at second base with first and third. So now with second and third, you've taken that away. It's a longer throw if there's a contact made in the infield now. Stassi at the plate.
And 1-1, 2 outs here. Bottom of the second, 2 on. Bieber's been pretty effective versus the Angels. And the 3 starts against him, 3-0. ERA just at that 2 mark.
That's a good read by Matt Duffy.
Yeah.
Because you know what? You're reading that baseball in the dirt. Austin Hedges is so good defensively. Kept that in front, used that whole body to keep it in front. See him turning his body, keeping his shoulders as square as possible. Even with the breaking ball, it's going to have different spin in the dirt. Duffy thinking he's got a shot, but no.
He used those tools of ignorance to perfection. Body blow. Shane Bieber. Max Stassi. All right, it's 3-1.
Boy, in this year so far, and even though we're going back to the last few years for Bieber, 3-1 counts of righties. You think, okay, he's going to throw fastball, but it's only been about 42% of the time, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. He's going to go with something breaking here too against Stassi, who hits fastballs good, especially away, and that's an elevated fastball that Bieber throws. That's the ball he hits good right center.
Here's the 3-1. All right, he walked him. Bases are loaded. Saw that plenty yesterday.
Francona looking on. It's great to see him back in the dugout.
No doubt.
All-time great guy.
Tyler Wade get an opportunity here. Play everywhere. Saw him in left field. We asked him about that catch, Eric and I. He just leapt up and just said, just catch the baseball. That's it. Just catch the ball. Okay. That's what he did, thankfully. Tyler Wade. Little fly ball right field. Josh Naylor squeezes it. Still no score early in this one.
Hello, doctor.
Good morning. Take a crack at the bottom line, please.
B-R-O. Let's break down some.
And the next line.
Come on, Doc. It's MLB Tonight.
MLB Tonight, bringing the new season into focus. Only on MLB Network.
Where there's baseball,
1 pitch away from baseball history.
there's drama.
He has thrown a no-hitter.
Where there's baseball,
Near the wall.
there's action.
He made a phenomenal catch.
And where there's baseball,
Let's go live inside the park.
there's MLB Tonight. On MLB Network. Where there's baseball all the time.
Unbelievable.
We've seen it time and time again.
Excitement of Angels baseball with your group of 20 or more and get tickets for as low as $8 per seat. Call 888-796-HALO or visit angels.com/groups for more details.
Boy, and you look at both of these OC pitchers, both very similar where they set up on the pitching rub. They're on the first base side, even where they have their front foot set up where they hide the baseball a little bit better. Glove a little higher for Lorenzen as compared to Bieber, but very, very similar where they start to attack the strike zone.
First plate appearance in the career in the bigs for Richie Palacios. He's a third-round pick, 103rd overall, 2018, by the Guardians. And that's his first knock in the bigs. Right past Anthony Rendon. Yeah, I think they're going to keep that baseball. Palacios just making sure. What a moment.
Boy, to stay with that fastball and just punched it by Anthony Rendon at third base. Always that fun time where they always pretend they're going to throw it in the stands. Just upstairs enough just to have a level swing. That's a pretty good swing. First major league hit.
It's incredible. It's just such a great moment. Fran Meal
said, yeah, I'll throw that away. You don't need that. Stolen base threat. He had 3 stolen bases in AAA. And you know they were looking in how many stolen bases the Angels had allowed against Baltimore in that series.
How about just yesterday alone, 9 for 9? Or in the series, yeah, excuse me, 9 for 9, yeah. Not once.
Lorenzen's got a good move, by the way. Really good move. He's got 1 career pickoff. No stolen bases allowed this year. 25 and 37 attempts in his entire career. So he's got the footwork. He's quick to the plate. And he's got a good move to first. But there's speed at first, speed at the plate.
Miles Straw, the batter.
And an easy guy to double up. He's had to hit the ball pretty hard at your infielder to double him up.
Ground ball, foul. Yeah, I just want to bring up, you know, it was a kind of a sad scene in the Bronx. Yankees won, walk-off, Miles Straw climbing the fence. You know, Quan he was trying to stick up for his teammate. They were throwing things at him. That was disappointing, but one thing, you know, Miles Straw, he stood up for what he believed was right, and he would do it again. He got up that wall pretty good.
Peter Parker-like, Spider-Man.
Mercado out there also. Hopefully nothing like that happens again.
Good slider. Boy, missed opportunity to get some runs across in the bottom of the second. Going to be up to Michael Lorenzen to see if he can put up a 0, get the offense going quickly again.
All right, 2-2.
Well, he's had some movement on his 2-seamer. Almost a little bit too much to be called a strike because it's starting on the corner. It's going off the inside part of the plate.
There's that little step off, though, to help control that running game. Doesn't go. Line drive, right field. Drifted towards Ward. He's going back, and he makes the catch. He has been so good this year, making catches at the wall, patrolling right field. And he's got it down.
Now, he is fearless out there in right field. Initially looked like he didn't read it directly off the bat, but he's able to run that one down with his speed and that fearless attitude he has going for the fly ball. So they got that one out. The wall does not intimidate him.
No.
That's why it's so important with Mike Trout and Taylor Ward to have that communication, because he will run and he will try to catch anything hit in the air.
Yeah, he had to adjust his route like a wide receiver. Pitch out. Ned Rosario now the battle, one away.
A couple pitch outs already this season put on by Joe Madden. Something that's been a lost art for a number of years. You have to have trust in your starter to get right back in the count the very next pitch.
Swing and a miss. Slider had some bite.
Holds the ball very well. Looked like a strike. Well out of the strike zone.
Palacio at first with speed. Picked up his first hit in the bigs. 1-1.
That could have been called that inside corner again. That's a big pitch. It's an accent pitch right now for the Guardians. Lorenzen sensing that, 2-1, 1 out. A lot of teams will put on a hit and run. Tito, Francona, they're not running a lot, but this is a count to have some sort of action.
Fly ball, left field. Joe Adell coming in. And 2 away. Francona and Madden certainly have a history, but you want to look at some comparisons with Jose Ramirez stepping in right now. You're talking about some comps with some players with 4 homers, 300 average, 1,000 OPS. Entering today only 4. Mike Trout, Ramirez, Buxton, and Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Look at that walk-off that Buxton hit for the Twins.
He hit it about, what, 480?
Yeah.
The furthest home run for a walk-off since StatCast. Came into existence in 2015. He broke it. That was awesome. Need to keep him healthy.
Already a big at bat here now for Lorenzen. Jeez, how quick he is.
Friendly fire over there.
With Bieber on the mound.
Just out in front of that one.
Well, I remember there was a time where there was no netting there.
Seriously?
Yes. Oh, yes.
What? You wouldn't be up there on that front step then?
No. But a baseball like that, it wouldn't matter. That would find you in that dugout.
Would you wear your glove? I mean, that's crazy. I guess you're all men back in those days, in the old days.
No, I'd just be pointing out the field's out that way.
Yeah, right.
Big pitch here now.
1-2. 2-2.
Kind of backdoor slider. Ramirez, like Trout, so comfortable even with 2 strikes. There's not a lot of chases. I was thinking that pitch before 1-2 maybe goes changeup. Maybe goes changeup now, but it's got to have that fade down and away.
We said this in the beginning. If there's one guy you don't want to beat you, this is true in any sport, it's this man right here, Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, but you don't want to have a lot of runners. I'm going after him with a changeup here.
Blatio on the move. Oh, the changeup, and he got him. Great call, partner.
That's a great execution of a pitch.
Woo. Michael Lorenzen. What movement. That's a big out. Angels Guardians, no score.
You want that home run feeling? Then step in the box and let it rip. Get ready for the Major League Baseball Junior Home Run Derby. Compete in your communities and swing your way to the 2022 Junior Home Run Derby Final during MLB All-Star Week in Los Angeles. Get your community involved by hosting a local derby. Sign up for free at jrhrd.com.
Here at the Big A, no score. Guardians, Angels. Here's Taylor Ward. Second time through for Shane Bieber. Halo's had a chance. Loaded the bases. Tyler Wade flew out to right to end the threat. Whoa, bat goes flying.
Seen that a number of times. So thankful for that netting. The ballpark going all the way down the line now for foul balls, and we're seeing a lot of bats go flying.
Chopper coming your way. Oh, great looks by our crew. Well, that would be a swing and a miss. Taylor Ward leading off. Fly ball, right field. And Naylor is there, one away. Brings up Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani's numbers, look at his home road splits. He's about to go off. And Joe Madden was asked about it. He's confident he's not just going to get hot, he's going to get scalding hot real quick. You know the kind of hot where you set your, you know, the water heater too high?
Especially if you get one of those other cutters or sliders on the inner half of the plate right now. You can see the baseball going a long way to right center.
So did they call that? They called that a, Junior Valentine called that a strike.
I think he called it on the swing.
On the swing, okay.
Yep.
Just making sure. 1-1. All right, 2-1 now.
Pretty nasty breaking ball.
Oh, you see, because
he called it on the, actually he called it a strike.
Yeah,
it looks like.
Yeah, because he did not swing. He was rung up on a check swing. You know, back in the first, which we both agree was not a strike. He didn't swing at it. He held it up. I have a question for you. Just got to find the right time to bring it up. 2-2. All right, here's a good time. So you know how each team gets one challenge. And we've seen some calls go against the Angels in a crucial situation. What if you had a challenge on a ball or a strike, and you could just quickly go to the box and determine ball or strike, could be a walk, could save an at-bat, could save a game?
No.
Not as a pitcher, absolutely not. I didn't think so.
No.
Yeah, of course it's not challengeable now. I'm just talking about perhaps in the future they're making all kinds of changes.
Well, if you have that automated strike zone, then you don't have to worry about that.
Right. Assuming
that
you
may
don't have
happen
that.
sooner than you think.
Yeah.
Real soon.
We've got these report cards. 3-2. And he got him looking. Can't argue with that.
Well, he's got such good command of his fastball. And anybody can say whatever they want. It's not as hard as it was a few seasons ago, but he can paint it. And that's paint.
So 2 down. Mike Trout had a series against the Orioles. 6 for 12.
Be ready, first pitch, Trouty here. So far in this game against Joe Adell and Mike Trout, he's starting them off with a first pitch slider. Right-handed batters a little more success against him in lefties coming in. Not there's a lot of success. 162 for right-handed batters, 111 for lefties. First time through a lineup for Bieber, 037. Second time through though, jumps up to 248. Trout to expand the strike zone on a 2-0 count. Threw him a slider.
2-1 to Trout. He drives that one left field. Palacio in his first game makes a good read on it, and Bieber retires. Trout still no score.
consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Jackie Robinson searching home run into the left field stands.
Here comes Roger Maris. There's a new home run champion of all time. I don't believe what I just saw. Cal Ripken Jr. has reached the unreachable star. This crowd on its feet and in unison. This one has a chance. Home run! Mike Piazza! The Boston Red Sox are world champions.
Welcome to the first night of MLB Network.
Number 600 for Jim Thome. That ball is gone.
106. That would be a new record.
It is caught. Oh, what a catch by Mike Trout. The Cubs have finally won it all. The Atlanta Braves are world champions.
Jose Ramirez start him off with a backdoor breaking ball, fastball up and in, turned on a pulled it foul. Try to change up down, then try backdoor and a curveball, fastball up, set him up for fade changeup at 87. Great pitch, great sequence.
A slider to Reyes for strike one. So far, 3 innings of work for Lorenzen. Just 1 hit, 2 walks, 2 Ks. But with a runner on to Palacios with speed to go after Ramirez. That showed some guts.
Boy, that movement. So slider off the outside corner, runs a 95-mile-an-hour two-seamer off the plate in. So you go east to west. Now see if you get a chase west off the plate.
The 0-2. Yeah, on that fastball, the vert movement and the horizontal movement is up for Lorenzen from last year.
Try to change up there 1-2. Throwing a few more change-ups. First game out, he threw real good change-ups. So the average velocity,
yeah,
and the movement.
The chase percentage way up. Your advice would be to maybe, with that much movement on that sinker, you know, maybe just work it back in.
Almost as what we saw with Baltimore, their catchers just set in the middle of the plate and work that movement.
3-2.
And it's hard to convince a pitcher to throw the ball in the middle of the plate because you're always taught that's one part of the plate you avoid. But when you have movement like Michael Lorenzen has, the trust is it won't stay in the middle of the plate, that it will move, but it gives an umpire a chance to call a strike on the corners. When you start on the corner, it's tough to call it a strike.
There's that grunt. Here's an interesting fact about Reyes. Believes he could be a model if he was not playing professional baseball. I'm convinced.
Well, as big as he is, he can do whatever he wants if he tells you.
Well, that's a good at bat. That's a leadoff walk. And with that, let's give you a quick word from Jack in the Box.
Pop my $5.99 classic and spicy 50-50 popcorn chicken combo. Order on the Jack app today.
Boy, you have to be behind 0-2. That's a pretty good at bat for a guy that's usually in chase mode.
Josh Naylor now the batter.
Reyes with already 21 strikeouts coming into the game, laid off a couple pretty close, tough pitches.
Lorenzen gets the call. 1-1. This could be 2. Down to Duffy. Back to Walsh. And then they threw it, just throwing it around, they threw the ball away. But we'll take the double play.
He got the arm loosened up.
He made the right throw when it mattered.
Yeah, he got in there, good throwing position over to Matt Duffy, quick 3-4-3 double play. Amazing. In that picture right there, there's a couple two-way players, Michael Lorenzen and Jared Walsh. Remember, he has pitched in the major leagues.
Then that one went sailing into left field. Owen Miller now the batter, 2 away.
That's 4 outs on the ground today for Lorenzen. Good to see that.
0-2.
That was incredibly nasty. That fastball, wow. You compare that with his changeup, the movement on those two, but there's a separation about 7-8 miles per hour. That is nasty.
Both these pitchers work quick.
Hasn't got quite that chase what you normally sees with his slider. Got a 33.3% whiff percentage with his slider this year for Michael Lorenzen. Good try, but just a little bit too far off the plate.
Ground ball, Rendon is there. Throws the cut cross for the 3rd out of the inning. Still no score. Guardians and the Angels.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
There's something about a park. The swings, the slides, the dogs. You can throw your food and wear it proudly. It's where showing off is encouraged, even if it doesn't always work out.
So, you in?
It is showtime!
Bottom 4, no score. Guardians, Angels, game 1, 4-game set. Well, the Halos hit the road. Going to Chicago for 4-3 with the Red Sox. This is the ace, Shane Bieber. Michael Lorenzen just going toe-to-toe. Jared Walsh leads off bottom 4.
Of course, the bat he was swinging at the first pitch against Bieber for Walsh. He hit it hard. Right at Miller, first base. Throwing some flat cutters tonight. Throwing a few more than normal, but he could paint his fastball here, even though it's a fastball count. Been much more effective against left-handed batters this year.
Amazing to think that Bieber had to walk on at UCSB.
Yeah, but he's noticed his turnaround after that delivery of the curveball was right down the heart of the plate. He knew he got away with one there. But with his stuff, I mean, when he first came into the major leagues too, he gave up some home runs, but then he worked on his craft and he learned how to change speeds, elevate fastballs, use his slider very well, curveball, and even his changeup.
And Jared Walsh strikes out. One away. It's number 4 for Bieber.
So a couple good curveballs in that sequence against Walsh.
I have to admit, it's nice to see really good pitching.
Yeah, I mean, and the pace, both pitchers. Whether you're watching at home or if you're a young pitcher in either dugout, you're watching two pitchers work quickly, utilizing their defense, trusting all their pitches they can throw. As a hitter, boy, you just got to. I think you got to be aggressive on the first pitch. Even though he's been a little bit off the plate on his first pitch, whether it's a fastball there and a couple sliders, but I think you have to be ready early in the count.
1-0 to Rendon. He's 0 for 1. Angels had 2 hits in the game. Came back in the second inning. Back-to-back hits from Duffy and Adele, and then a walk to Stassi, but nothing more.
So good, he throws that 2-0 slider over 40% of the time. In a fastball count, there's no longer, by the way, a fastball count anymore, a hitter's count. No. If you have to have a feel for your secondary pitches, and he clearly does. Same thing for Lorenzen. We've seen him throw a slider, even his changeup, in hitters' counts.
Rendon drives that one. It gets down for a knock.
Little backup knuckle curve, and it was a knuckleball off the bat. Backs up on him, stays upstairs. And it's the middle of the field. And Bieber knew he got away with one, but the defense playing it deep. He's able to fall in there nicely for Anthony Rendon.
Here's Matt Duffy, singled back in that second inning. No score, Guardians, Angels. It's a beautiful night here at Angel Stadium.
I think noticing, Patrick, about the defense for the Guardians in the outfield, they play pretty deep. So you can have some of those base hits fall in. Baltimore, we saw them, those guys were playing pretty shallow in the outfield. Had a better chance of getting those base hits to fall in front. They're trying to take away extra base hits.
One ball, one strike to Matt Duffy, no score. Long Beach native, first year with the Halos. Off to a great start. Angels 5-2 on the road, but one game under 500 here at home.
Good contact hitter in Matt Duffy. He'll have to make some contact here, probably a slider.
Ground ball, third base. Ramirez over to second, gets one. Jimenez with the put out at second base. Rendon retired, 2 away.
One of those underrated things about Jose Ramirez's game is defense. This is a tough play. This is right down the line. The backhand and a quick throw to second. They're not going to be able to turn 2 against Matt Duffy, but it's still a solid play by Jose Ramirez. Early on, we saw him play a lot of second base for the Guardians, and now on third base.
He made that look so easy, and I know for one it's not. Can't be. Tremendous play. Here's Joe Adele, 2 down, 1 on. Our Kia player profile regarding Joe Adell. When you're looking at the 3 true outcomes and the percentage with 50-plus plate appearances, right at 50%. The 3 true outcomes: homer, walk, or a strikeout. Could this be one of them? Just got under it. Drifting back, Palacios makes the catch. Oh, so close to one of the 3. Still no score.
Good nights lead to great mornings. Get generic Viagra shipped discreetly to your door at RexMD.com.
Hey, it's me. The summer breeze. I just flew back into town. Let's get outside. Much better.
With the Game Time app, I paid 60% less than this guy. What? And it's not just sports tickets. It's also concerts. Performances, too!
Oh, come on!
Download Game Time. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Stadium with the Coca-Cola Friends and Family Fun Pack. For only $44, you get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 soft drinks. For more info regarding the Coca-Cola Friends and Family Fun Pack, visit angels.com/fun pack. Michael Lorenzen has put up 4 zeros against the Guardians. Top of the 5th, facing Jimenez. Some notes real quick on the starting pitching for the Angels this year. Whip 1.15, average against 207, but that whip rank in team history currently first all time. Previous best, you got to go back to 1968, 1.20. It's early. Just saying, starting pitching so far, so very, very well for the Halos. 2-0 though to Jimenez. Pops it up.
Take that, especially 2-0 count. Pretty good hack at. He just missed it.
1 away. So here it is, lowest whip, Angels history, all time. Right now, 1.15. Back in 1968, 1.20.
And again, when you listen to see that at home, it's walks and hits per innings pitched. So
right.
That's not a lot of traffic.
Austin Hedges now, 0 for 1. By the way, Mark Gubaza made his MLB debut against the Indians April 6, 1984.
He also ended my career, by the way, the Indians.
I need to bring that up.
The Guardians.
That doesn't count, by the way, because you made your debut against the Indians. It doesn't count if anybody's trying to win any money. Gubaza for the Royals went 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 4 Ks. And he took the loss.
Yeah, Bert Blyleven, Hall of Famer. Still don't like him for that. It was his birthday, though.
Oh, you heard the grunt. That's a big-time pop-up by Hedges. Rendon is over, out number 2.
Yeah, not too often you see a pitcher running in there to make a play, but Lorenzen has played a position before. Do you see that smile by Anthony Rendon? Goes, you know what? I thought you might try to call me off. But no, it's my play. And
the only hit so far for the Guardians Number 9 hitter Richie Palacios, the left fielder. His first career hit in his first career game. His first ever AB in the majors. How about that?
Good cutter. Remember, he had a base hit on a fastball away.
Is that the exact same thing? He's 2 for 2, and he's got speed. He's thinking of going to second. Bobble out there left. Palacios is into second. So that's going to be a single and an error.
This time a changeup had flattened out on him just enough, almost elevated, exact same spot. Pretty good job of hitting for Palacios. Stayed back on a fastball that way. And then he went the same thing on a changeup, kept the bat back. See if Lorenzen can pick up Joe Adell here now. That's your job as a starting pitcher. Guy on the mound, pick up your guy.
So now runner in scoring position. Great speed. Lorenzen and Stassi might have to make an adjustment on the sides here. Miles Straw, the batter, he's 0 for 2. First pitch strikes has been an issue coming into this inning. Just 5 for 16 for Lorenzen. Oh, that stays fair. Thank you very much.
Changeup and a changeup swing.
Cued down the line. Lorenzen's through 5, still no score.
Getting outdoors is all about the experience, the thrills, the rides, the memories. We put that in a bottle. No harsh chemicals, cruelty-free, and recycled packaging. Everyman Jack, naturally derived, outdoor inspired.
Prescription eyewear can be really expensive, but here's the secret. Glasses don't actually cost that much to make. Surprise! Especially when you design your own eyewear and then sell it directly to your customers. Like we do. Oh hi, we're Warby Parker. Our glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. And the best part? You can try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
This is the planning effect. If Raina's thinking about retirement, she'll get some help from Fidelity to envision what's possible. Fidelity can help her prioritize her goals by looking at her full financial picture. Plus, they'll help her pick an investment strategy, one she's comfortable with. And with a clear plan to get to retirement, Raina can enjoy wherever she's headed next. That's the planning effect from Fidelity.
The Angels here with Mark Gubicza, Patrick O'Neill, and Gooby. Michael Lorenzen has made an adjustment to his changeup grip. Would you explain?
Yeah, Patrick, he told me to keep an eye on it. It's these middle fingers here, these 2 fingers, ring finger, middle finger, a little bit closer before. Now he's opened up like this and thrown it where he's had more of a grip, almost going to have that downward action. Here's the original one you can see there. The original one, and now the fingers are open up a little bit more so when he's throwing his changeup and have a better downward action. Almost has like a split type action to it going down and away. Told me keep an eye on it. He felt real comfortable in his bullpen session, and this is the time he's able to throw his changeup up to 13% changeup usage so far, and he's got a couple big outs with his changeup already in this game.
Yeah, that big one to Ramirez.
Well, he had great downward action on the changeup, starts in the zone, fades down and away. And the feel for that one, you can see where the fingers are set up and spread. He was closer before, spread apart, throws his changeup, and it fades down and away to get a big swing and miss against a great hitter.
Stassi fouls that one back. Great explanation there. No idea how you guys can throw that pitch.
The thing about a changeup, Patrick, it's one of the best pitches because you can throw so many different grips. It's all about feel. Because a changeup, you have to think, throw it like a fastball, but it's going to take away about 7-8 miles per hour on the speed. But it's all about comfort in the grip of the pitch.
Stassi strikes out. It's 5 for Bieber.
It's that spinner. That's kind of a dangerous zone. Very similar to the spot where Anthony Rendon got a base hit up the middle. When you try to pull that one, you're going to pull off just enough to make no contact.
But Bieber's just so good. You hardly get any looks. He's got to find a way to take advantage. Halos had the bases loaded in the second inning. And this man came up, flew out to right. Tyler Wade playing shortstop. Night off for Squid, Andrew Velasquez. Foul ball there. We'll give you a quick word from Kia.
Presenting Kia's lineup of exceptionally capable all-wheel drive SUVs.
0-2 to Tyler Wade. First game of a 4-game series. Good pitching matchups the rest of the way. Another strikeout. Back.
Knuckle curveball work. We talk a lot about his sliders. Knuckle curve has been effective. The Angels coming into this game today with that base load. They were 4 for 15 with the bases loaded, 267 batting average, 1 home run, but 3 walks. It's tough to get that walk with the bases loaded or any point against Shane Bieber because he's around the strike zone. He gets a couple chases in this inning on curveballs. Knuckle curveball.
That's 6 Ks for the Biebs. Not Justin. Apparently there was a Topps baseball card that mistakenly had him as Justin Bieber. And Players Weekend, you know, players can choose whatever they want. So
good.
Shane Bieber went with not Justin.
That's so good. I can't tell which is which.
That was interesting. Taylor Ward.
Yeah, you don't have to, as a home plate umpire, award that to a hitter, even though you can call timeout. Doesn't have to give you it, and he didn't.
No, Junior Valentine absolutely did not. Yep. Now 2-2. So time, strike.
And you can request, but it doesn't always have to be given to you.
All right, full count. Do you think Bieber saw that and then said, I'm just going to put this right down the middle, take a strike?
Why not?
Yeah.
He is so smart on the mound. There's been a lot of comparisons between him and his stuff and his strike and the way it works.
Taylor Ward drives that one. Center field. He made. Now that one's gone. Home run call. Angels are on the board.
And I'm sure they're going to take a look at this one. Has to get above the yellow line before it had to get over that high wall. Yellow line for the home run. And Terry Francona wants to get it looked at. He's going to go out and talk because the umpires can get together on this before even a review.
Miles Straw goes back, tries to leap up.
That's off. That's a home run.
Home run.
Yeah, that's over the wall.
What an incredible play though off the wall, but it's 1-0 Halos.
Yeah, he tried to sell it as if you head off the glove to keep it in play. No, but that's a home run ball. They're just making sure he's okay. What a swing. 3-2. He says, you know what? I don't need that timeout.
Nope.
I'll just swing. You go back to even the magical year for Bieber. He gave up 15 home runs and 77 1/3 in 2020.
Nissan umpire review.
This should be quick. Off the wall, above the yellow line. Miles Straw was way up there. Wow, he is Peter Parker.
Yeah, we have seen him climb the wall, but he took a tumble on the way down. And he's going to stay in the game. Crowd sees it.
After review, the call on field is confirmed. Home run.
That's Bill Miller, crew chief. Brian Knight, second base umpire, was on that call. Give him credit. Gave the home run signal. Wardy boy.
Yes, indeed. He goes, you know, Shohei's done that a few times in that leadoff spot. Although it's no longer the leadoff spot once the game goes.
2-out home run from Taylor Ward. Shohei Ohtani, he could fly down the line, coming over, high throw. And Rosario
That's
throws
a smart
out.
play by Rosario. If you let that go to the second baseman, Shohei's beating it.
So Taylor Ward knew it, his second.
Hello, doctor. Hi, Doc.
Hello, how are you?
What's going on, Doc? Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's take a crack at the bottom line.
I see it. Age. Oh, that's easy. That's highlights.
And the next line.
B-R-E, breakdowns.
How about the third line?
L-I-V, live looking.
Perfect. How about this one?
P.L. Placata.
The analysts of MLB Tonight, bringing the new season into focus. Only on MLB Network.
A 1-0 lead thanks to the home run by Taylor Ward. The Angels in the outfield getting it done. Taking a look at the Major League Baseball ranks at the plate. They're second in all of baseball with a .301 batting average. First in those other categories. I had a chance to catch up with Angels hitting coach Jeremy Reed before the game today to talk a little bit about what he's seen from Taylor Ward early on this season. He's commanding the strike zone, and he told me he's doing it better than anybody, that there's a ton of value in the calmness to that. Now he's not over anxious, but still aggressive, and the willingness to get to those 3 ball counts, and he just understands himself well. Guys, he also told me that he'll game plan just for himself specifically rather than just the scouting reports overall.
Okay, Erica, thank you. Yeah, enjoyed that interview you had with Jeremy Reed, Angels Live pregame show.
Good spot.
Whoa. That's all over it.
That's that upper quadrant in the strike zone, and Lorenzen looked in.
Rosario gets a second life, and he drives that one left field. Wouldn't you know it? Off the wall. Adele throwing into second base, but that's a double. So the strike, non-call. All over the zone.
I mean, it's right at the upper part of the strike zone.
It just, you know what, it happens so often, you see it. And that brings up Jose Ramirez. I guess the only good news is that didn't leave the yard.
Joe Dell played that really well off the wall, too.
Yeah, he sure did. Meeting at the mound. With that going on, here's a quick word from Jack in the Box.
Pop my $5.99 classic and spicy 50-50 popcorn chicken combo. Order on the Jack app today.
Just to follow up on what Erica was bringing up about the Angels in the outfield, you were asked what's a better movie, Angels in the outfield or Major League? Yeah, and you said, well, and you brought up those numbers.
I have to go with Angels in the outfield right now. It's because of those numbers. They're going after Jose Ramirez here. 20 RBIs this season.
Going after him or maybe pitching around him.
I always say if you're gonna attack them, you have to go after them with strikes. Otherwise, you just walk them. You put yourself in a bad negative mind frame when you're saying to pitch around them.
Only went after
break a ball.
So that double by Rosario, for those wondering, would have been a home run in 20 other stadiums, including Guardians home field, Progressive Field.
Working that changeup. Remember, he got him to swing and miss on a changeup. That's a grunt changeup there from Lorenzen.
Mike Myers is up in the Angels bullpen. Games like this, you know, it's truly a game of inches. And when you're trying to match up against Shane Bieber, slightest little thing can change a ball game. Rosario gets a second chance. Leadoff double. Halos up 1-0 on the Taylor Ward home run in the bottom of the fifth. The 2-1.
Now I'm thinking they're not going to go after him here. I would almost walk him because he's in a good count.
Why
he was kind of looking in too to wonder if they were going to put him on first base.
He could just
Lorenzen
put up the 4 and don't waste the pitch. 3-1. Okay, so first and second. Jose Ramirez, Matt Wise out to have a chat. Again, Myers is up in the bullpen. 5 scoreless innings of work from Michael Lorenzen, matching up with Shane Bieber, former Cy Young Award winner. Both local lads. One from Laguna Hills High School in Bieber, the other in Lorenzen from Anaheim Union. Mark, you've been there. You don't get that call, that happens. So I know you always talk about clearing the mechanism, but it's easier said than done sometimes.
Yeah, and sometimes you get a little bit frustrated. That's why it's almost better. And, you know, Michael Lorenzen is always in attack mode. You're almost better off taking a step off the pitching rubber, walk back behind the mound, and regather your mindset. Even though you want quick pace, it's tough to have that because that's in your mind.
DH Franmil Reyes. After the intentional walk to Ramirez.
A lot of power, but a guy, if you get a ground ball and an infielder, could be a double play.
Angels playing straight up. That's a ball, 2-0.
Stassi's asking where it's at. There's a little frustration there for Max Stassi also, but that was a little below the strike zone.
Not quite Kyle Schwarber frustration. Frustration nonetheless. Trouble.
He'll be hacking 3-0. That's a quick reminder from Max Stassi to Michael Lorenzen. He's going to be up there hacking.
Was he ever? That would have been ball 4. A little karma for the Halos. Maybe get that double play right now. Duffy checking on Rosario at second base.
Runs a little bit, one stolen base, one time caught. this year.
First and second, nobody out. 3-1 to Reyes.
Fouled it.
3-2.
He was upset. He swung at another pitch out of the strike zone. He's frustrated. You can hear him all the way up here. Even with our headsets on, you can hear that frustration.
Well, you mentioned Reyes when he drew that 3-2 walk back in the 4th inning to lead off that inning. The surprise, because there's a strikeout in his game this year.
21 this year. Looking for 22 for Lorenzen.
And indeed he got him. Huge out. Oh, snaps the stick.
Went right out to him. Fastball, fastball, fastball. Stayed back, follow through, drive to the plate. He gets it by him.
Careful of shrapnel. That is a big man. I would need an axe to do that. Josh Naylor now with 1 down. In there.
A few more cutters today for Lorenzen. Anthony Rendon all alone on that left side of the infield.
This could be 2, 6, 4, 3. Double play. Michael Lorenzen, 6 scoreless innings. That's a little karma working for you.
Great pitch, second double play turned. Big punch out against Reyes, and then he gets the double play. Loving it.
Oh,
the attack zone
pays off. Let's see it.
Join Kevin Millar.
I'm just a dude that loves baseball.
And Steven Nelson.
I'm nervous as hell, man.
On a quest for legends worthy of the sacred prize.
You thought I lost my mind, but
it's unpredictable baseball coverage that will have you on the edge of your seat all season long.
So keep it locked here on MLB Network all day.
Swing into action and join the adventure on Intentional Talk, only on MLB Network.
Let's watch some baseball.
Getting the handshakes, the good job, the attaboy from Joe Madden. Big smile. The emotion, though, Gooby.
I love that. I mean, he's 3-0. He comes back and gets Reyes on 3 fastballs in a row. Then it gets a ground ball double play. His energy, got to feed off that. See if we can get a couple runs here. Trout leading off. Great double play turn by Matt Duffy. Tyler Wade over to.
That's right.
2 double plays turn.
1-1 to Mike Trout.
Patio, that's a pretty good idea, the depth of the slider. He's gotten Trout twice today. One time on a 2-0 count, then a 1-0 count to chase a slider below the strike zone. That's how much depth he has on it.
Remember that slider that we saw from Shohei Ohtani in Houston?
Very good comparison of the two.
This guy, Shane Bieber. It's Mike Trout 1-2. Trout coming into this one, red hot. Little excuse me swing, fair ball. Trout hustling to second. Is he thinking three? Mike Trout on his way for a triple. Head first slide, he's in there.
Trouty, we showed him earlier, 10 years ago, the speed. Look at the speed here. He goes, excuse me, slider. Gets it by Miller, and he sees exactly where it goes, and Trout thinking, you know what? I'm not satisfied with a double. I'm going to pick up Phil Nevin here as he's going around. He's going to pick it up and slide in there with a triple for Trout. Lorenzen going, yes. That's how I used to run the bases. Said the bases were probably scared of him.
That's Trout, yeah, probably.
That's some great speed.
If he picked up Nevin, it was before he got to second base. He might have been,
because he was looking to see right away. That's how good of a baseball player Trout is, because he's thinking, all right, I know I got a double. So he's between first and second. Quick look over. Infield in now. You're looking to drive something in the air. If you're Walsh, Bieber will try to sneak something inside to jam Walsh to see if he can clear his hands.
Foul back. This is Willie Mays-esque. Mike Trout making that turn. First triple of the year.
And a head first slide.
Ground ball, hard hit. Now one away. Trout holds up.
Yeah, you can't go on. That ball was hit too hard. That ball was rocketed off the bat. 106 miles per hour exit velocity with the infield in. That's how quick you got to be.
So that's an out at, what'd you say, 107?
Yeah.
So that's an out. Jimenez, nice play. And Trout's exit velo is 57, and it's a triple, so go figure.
It's not how hard you hit it, it's where you hit it.
50th career triple for Mike Trout. Third all-time to Figgins.
Figgy.
And Fregosi. 70 for Jim. The Angels legend. Rendon. Another one. Right to Jimenez. 2 down. Big run. Trout leadoff triple. Stranded there for now.
The right guy you wanted up in that spot, too. An RBI machine. And the Angels usually have the contact play on, but that's a perfect hop, too. That would have been a difficult one. There's a wild pitch in the game for Shane Bieber. So you got to stay at third. You can't just give yourself up going home. I know you see the Angels a lot. Contact play. Not on that one.
There's Matt Duffy. Got a single, reached on a fielder's choice. A big moment. The one run for the Halos, a Taylor Ward home run, his second on the season. Also made a great play in right.
Yeah, there's 21 career wild pitches for Shane Bieber. That is why you don't go. And also when you're at third base, you take away that nasty slider in the dirt as compared to a man at first.
All right, 3-0 to Duffy. Joe Adell is on deck. Indians. There it is. I lost. Guardians get that infield in.
For me, really I'm giving Matt Duffy the green light here.
Are you?
Yep. That doesn't mean that Shane Bieber's going to throw him a strike. He might throw him a breaking ball. But I still think green light for Matt Duffy. Because he's so good at using the middle part of the field.
And a 4-pitch walk to Duffy, so first and third, 2 down.
One thing to keep an eye on in this at bat as it progresses, Patrick, is the potential Duffy on the move, draw a throw, the second, see if Cleveland will make that throw, and then Trout goes home. Depending on the length of this at bat for Joe Adell.
So whiff rate and hard hit rate. So he's either swung and missed or hit it real hard. 3 players entering today. 40%, both above. Joe Adell, Adam Duvall, Chris Taylor. Nearly 43% hard hit percentage for Joe Adell. Grand slam yesterday. And Duffy takes second base.
Boy, big moment, huge moment in this game, trying to get those add-on runs. Boy, you talk about a perfect technique behind the plate. Austin Hedges keeps that entire body in front, stays low, shoulders square. That doesn't allow the baseball to go right or left. It stays in front, even with a breaking ball. Great technique by Hedges.
Joe Adell going to pop up over to first. Owen Miller. That is 3 outs. Leadoff triple by Mike Trout. And he's stranded.
It's time for MLB Pitch Hit and Run, the official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball. Give the kids in your community a chance to compete in the 2022 Pitch Hit and Run Finals by hosting a local competition. Sign up for free at pitchhitrun.com.
Valley Sports is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires. Well, I imagine Angels fans are still bummed out that run didn't come in, but let's give you our Carl's Cam replay and show you just how good Michael Lorenzen was in that 6.
That's just some stress on there. Big strikeout. They're falling behind 3-0 and then gets the pitcher's best friend. A double play ball on the ground, and the energy from Michael Lorenzen, definitely worthy of a Carl's Cam replay.
The two buds still talking it out. Thor and, I'm sorry, what's the other superhero? I'm not.
Loki.
Loki,
yes.
All right.
They're brothers on the field and off the field.
There's Mike Myers. He's coming in. 7th inning. Last outing, Saturday versus the Orioles. 72 games last year for Myers, but with expanded rosters here, month of April until May 2nd, more options for managers, bigger bullpens. Nice to see Archie Bradley get that save yesterday. You knew how big that was. Line drive right to Tyler Wade. One down.
Just looking at Owen Miller this year, asking Cleveland broadcasters about him. And they said he just squares up everything. That was a line drive, big out. It hit well. 104 miles per hour exit velocity, rated a guy with a glove for now.
7 doubles for Owen Miller. So that would be allowed out. Andres Jimenez now, the Guardians batter. 1 down, top of the 7th. 1-0. Angels, game 1 of a 4-game series. Houston Astros losing 6-2 to Texas, top 9. Take that. 0-1.
That cutter upstairs. 4-seam cut action.
Little 0-2 shakeoff to Stassi.
It's a good idea to try to expand the strike zone, see if you can get a chase.
Angels have the shift. That one's hit hard and drifting foul.
That had some sound.
Look at the AL West. Seattle 4 games over 500 at 10-6. Angels second 9-7. Oakland game over 500 9-8. 2-2. That Central certainly bunched up. Minnesota's 8-8 and they're in first. Cleveland 7-8 second. We'll see the White Sox coming up 3 games under 500. They got all kinds of injuries. Here's a 2-2 to Jimenez. That's a fly ball, right field. Taylor Ward camps under that one. And 2 down here in the top of the 7th. They register your little angel for the Junior Angels Kids Club, presented by Jersey Mike's. Members receive a lunch bag, a shirt, 4 ticket voucher codes, and more for only $20 plus shipping. Visit angels.com/Junior Angels. Austin Hedges now the batter here, 2 down.
Good spot. Get ahead of the count.
Here's the 0-1. Just upstairs. Michael Lorenzen, 6 scoreless innings. What a 6th inning it was. After a missed 3rd strike call. Leadoff double, gets out of it. No harm, no foul. It's fly ball. Mike Trout is there. Michael Myers comes in and gets the job done. In the 7th. Bottom half coming up. It's stretch time.
I love the Boys and Girls Clubs because they help you believe that you can make it to the big leagues.
Big leagues of what? Law. Art? Construction? Baseball?
How'd you guess?
With the help of Major League Baseball, the Boys and Girls Clubs of America help kids make it to the big leagues of anything.
mobile coverage cam after the third out. How about that? You want an example as to why Mike Trout's the best in the business? Wearing that Ohtani.
How about that smile? Made his day. I mean, Trout gets it. He really gets it. And to see that kind of smile, I mean, it gives you those little goosebumps. Shane Bieber back out on the mound, 88 pitches. He did some really good pitching after Trout's leadoff triple, although Jared Walsh hit that ball hard, that 107 miles per hour exit velocity. He hit that one right on the money. Nice play by Jimenez at second.
Max Stassi. He's 0 for 1. A walk back in the second. Give him some credit for the job he's done behind the dish. Called a great game so far. That's a line drive, base hit. That ball had eyes up the middle. So we saw what Mike Trout did. The company he has. Yesterday was his 1,300th game played in the big leagues. And his first 1,300 games, 300 plus homers, 300 average, 1,000 OPS. See how that number goes down from 29-12 to 7 to 7 players, Gooby, that he is on this list. Some of the best names in the game's history.
I think I just saw recently where there's 24,000 players that ever played this game. It could be one day in the big leagues or a number of games. But put those numbers together for Trout is incredible.
So Babe Ruth, this is who Trout joins. 300 average, 300 plus homers, and 1,000 plus OPS, 1,300 games. Ruth, Hank Greenberg, Jimmy Fox, Ted Williams, Albert Pujols, Manny Ramirez, and Mike Trout.
Incredible names.
Now Hank Greenberg and Ted Williams, they both missed 3 years, right, in the military service, because Trout's the second youngest on that list, but those guys would have certainly have been younger as well. But wow.
Incredible.
Unreal.
Long look down by Tyler Wade over to Phil Nevin. You're going to have to get a good bunt down. Max Stassi doesn't have much of a lead at first. Wade is a great bunter. He's going to need that to be able to advance him.
So now it's 1-2. Would he risk trying to bunt with 2 strikes?
He's comfortable. He's got to try to play catch. It's tough though against Bieber because he's not going to throw anything close in the strike zone. He's either going to throw a high fastball or a breaker ball in the dirt.
Joe Madden had something to say. And he was bunting with 2 strikes. How clutch is that? Tough play, just got him. Hedges throws him out.
Wade wants him to check. I thought he just got him, but boy, did he get down the line fast. Job done with 2 strikes. Well, Hedges made a nice play using the bare hand to make a good throw. See that ball in the glove before the foot gets down there. The stretch by Miller. That's the throw. The catcher knows that's a throw to that side of the base. He can't throw it at the runner, otherwise it's going to be a lot of trouble. This is well played by Cleveland. A nice job by Tyler Wade.
Yeah. He got down the line 30.2 feet per second.
And his hair still looks good after the helmet on there and flying down the line.
Looks good, looks perfect. Okay, so here's the man that has accounted for the Halos' only run. Solo homer back in the 5th. Batting leadoff. Moved Ohtani down to the 2-hole. His on-base percentage coming in well north of 500. He has 10 walks on the season. How about we show you our Arco top-tier play of the night. 3-2.
That's how strong he is.
Incredible.
It's only inner half. Well, Shaw almost able to bring that one back. Cowboy hat on. Naylor out in right field, 9 outfield assists in his career. Straw with 10.
So 1 down, 0-2 to Taylor Ward. The Tyler Wade sacrifice moves Stassi up. Numbers on Ward, only player in baseball this year, 10+ walks within the first 10 games while hitting over 300. It's the 3rd Angel ever to do it.
It's a quick conversation. I think they want to make sure they're on the same page. They want to go break a ball. Just remember what he did to a fastball. Taylor Ward last at bat. Now you're just looking to make contact, even if you got to punch it in the right field. You saw what Trout did with 2 strikes, is punch that slider just down the first baseline.
Those numbers I just told you about, Dave Chalk and Rod Carew, the only others to accomplish it. The 1-2. And Ward has tremendous command of his strike zone right now.
Anytime you can put Rod Carew's number up there in a conversation, you feel real good about that as a hitter.
Rod Carew fell out of bed hitting 300. Kidding? 2-2. Upstairs. There's full count for Taylor Ward.
Shohei Ohtani waiting on deck. This is pitch number 100. Night for Shane Bieber.
Taylor Ward drives that one left center. Get out of here. It's gone. He's doing it all tonight. First ever multi-homer game of his career. 3-0 Halos.
Yes, I love hitting in that number 1 spot. Give me an extra at bat. Let me be patient. Let me get a pitch to drive. Home run right center. Home run left center. Water boy. Hey, Wardy boy. I like water boy.
Well, now the water boy is going to have to take care of Shane Bieber on pitch number 100. He's knocked out of the game, yeah. Yeah, it's just that when you hit 2 homers in a game, you got to make sure the hair stays just right. And that swing is just right.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Jackie Robinson searching home run into the left field stand.
Here comes Roger Maris. There's a new home run champion of all time. I don't believe what I just saw.
Cal Ripken Jr. has reached the unreachable star. This crowd on its feet and in unison.
This one has a chance. Home run!
Red Sox are world champions.
Welcome to the first night of MLB Network.
Number 600 for Jim Thome. That ball is gone.
106. That would be a new record.
It is caught. Oh, what a catch by Mike Trout. The Cubs have finally won it all. The Atlanta Braves are world champions.
A 3-2 count. This time some lift to left center. Shane Bieber's hoping this ballpark holds that, but lifted that baseball up on the inner half. Both times homering today on a 3-2 count, showing that power, lift, line drive, last home run this time. He was able to get pitched a little lower in the strike zone and hits that one out way out left center. What a swing by Taylor Ward.
What a game. Joe Madden looking like a genius right now. The Mad Halo putting him atop the order. This time, no one's bringing that one back.
Gets the bunt down. Tyler Wade. Tyler Ward hits the 2-run home run.
Taylor Ward. Ohtani looking to greet the new pitcher.
I think Joe did that on purpose for us there. For Tyler Wade and Taylor Ward.
Well, I was the first guy to mess up on the team name, so Trevor Stephan in his 8th game for Terry Francona. 3-0 Angels. They knock Shane Bieber out of the game. Taylor Ward, the 2-punch knockout. Former first-round pick, Fresno State, first career multi-home run game. Both of them coming full count. Yesterday, had a full count. Decided to take it, said he was in take mode all the way. That was the game-winning RBI with the bases loaded. The bat showed up here tonight against the Guardians. Shohei Ohtani takes that one. Oh, not enough. Off the bat, it had the sound. Stays in the yard. Josh Naylor got all fired up.
Pretty good indication how strong Shohei is. That was all hands. Because the lower part of his body opened up. It kept his hands back in the zone to make contact. Still hit that one close to the warning track.
Now Mike Trout. He had a multi-homer game in that series against the Orioles. 21st of his career. Franchise record. Allen missed. Trout had that leadoff triple back in the 6th. He scored a run at 8 straight games. I thought for sure that was going to be 9. One. 1-2.
One of those tough backup breaking balls. You got to respect his fastball. Stephan's got a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. He throws a cutter, and it's some depth in his cutter, slider, changeup.
And the 1-2 to Trout. He struck him out. That ends the inning. But Taylor Ward got a cowboy up. His 2nd home run of the night. And his 3rd on the year, and he earned that cowboy hat. 3-0 Halos.
Now batting, number 5.
Nice seats. $50 though.
Hey, this dude got a seat for $20 on Game Time.
Whoa.
Download Game Time now. Come on, do it.
Good nights lead to great mornings. Get generic Viagra shipped discreetly to your door at RexMD.com.
Hey, it's me. The summer breeze. I just flew back into town. Let's get outside. Much better.
Bally Sports is brought to you by Hyundai. Learn about Hyundai's advanced technology and award-winning safety. Visit buyhyundai.com or see your SoCal Hyundai dealers today. By Jack in the Box. Try Jack in the Box popcorn chicken combo for $5.99. Get it classic, spicy, or 50-50. By your Southern California Cadillac dealers. By OC Healthcare Agency. Build your healthiest self at angels.ocnavigator.org. And by your Southern California Chevy dealers. Hugs all around, Wardy Boy, Rendon. We having fun yet here tonight, Goop?
What a game, what a game, what a matchup on the mound, and some big swings for Taylor Ward.
Taylor Ward, one of only 3 players to have multi-homer games off of Shane Bieber. In comes Ryan Tepera. Facing the very dangerous Richie Palacios. First big league game, he is 2 for 2. 2 of the 3 Guardians hits on the night. Top 8, 3-0 Angels. Palacios, not this time. Mike Trout there for out number 1.
Both times line drives left center. One on a fastball, one on a changeup. This time he got him to hit the ball in the air, and Trout easy play for him in center.
Batting average no longer 1,000.
14th career game for Tepera against the Guardians. Pretty solid numbers.
Miles Straw 0 for 3. Lorenzen went 6. 6 scoreless. He was outstanding. Mike Myers pitched a 1-2-3 7th. There's Ryan Tepera. 1 down, top 8.
Well, we talked about how well the outfield has played for the Angels on the offensive side. 7 hits total in the game, 4 by the outfield. 2 home runs by Ward, a base hit by Adele, and a triple by Trout.
Let's not forget about that great catch Ward made earlier. Stassi, Tepera. Wanted to know where that pitch was. 1-1. Brandon Marsh still with the stomach bug. I hope he gets well soon. See him out here. There was this lot of discussion, right, Gooby, about how long are you going to keep Ohtani in the leadoff spot? And that's without question that was the most that Joe Madden was asked about. Brandon Marsh always played leadoff his entire life, through high school, through the minors. It's the 2-1 line drive. Tyler Wade is there, and 2 down. Download the MLB app to get video highlights, live pitch by pitch, breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboards, and more for your Angels.
This play, that ball was hit pretty hard. Sometimes that's a tough one. It stayed down low. On Tyler Wade, made a play on that one, especially with that speed for Miles Straw going down the line. By the way, that great hair, his mom is a hairdresser, so Tyler Wade, so it's a given.
Oh, Murrieta, California. I mean, Shohei got a haircut today. I wonder if maybe Tyler hooked him up. I don't know who's getting near Taylor Ward's hair, though. I asked him about it. He said it's just a little bit of product, not much spray. And Tepera starts Rosario up with a strike.
Tepera can really paint his fastball inside out.
I was rambling there, but just to finish my thought, you know, Taylor Ward, this is a nice debut in that leadoff spot.
Yes.
And curious to see, you know, I certainly wouldn't make any moves. I wouldn't change a thing. 0-1 ground ball, Rendon, short hop, tricky play, throws across. Ryan Tepera spotting the fastball, goes 1-2-3 in the 8th.
Now batting, number 5.
Nice seats. $50 though.
Hey, this dude got his seat for only $20 on Game Time.
Whoa.
Game Time tracks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals, so you can get tickets for up to 60% off.
60% off?
Mystical ballpark voice.
Yeah.
That guy freaks me out.
Download Game Time now. Come on, do it.
Tapera. Joe Maddon's had a lot of good handshakes tonight, Gooby.
Nice job out of the bullpen. Some quick, efficient outs. There he is. T-Wade.
Brian Shaw making his 700th career appearance. It's a big number for a reliever. Sixth among active pitchers.
Well, he's one of those pitchers that if you think about a song for him, it'll be Bryan Adams. Cuts like a knife. He throws a ton of cutters. A lot of cut fastballs. He's anywhere between 60 and 80% cutters, depending on if it's a righty or lefty at the plate.
Definitely didn't expect to hear Bryan Adams. We brought up here tonight. Saw him in '86, by the way, Gooby.
Nice.
Yeah. That's all I remember. Jared Walsh, first pitch swinging. Oh, tough hop over there. Eats up Miller. And Walsh is aboard.
It's got to be a hit. That's a tough hop. And as a left-handed batter, you got to try to get that barrel out quickly on a cut fastball inside, and he was able to do that. Just tough hop. What happens throughout the course of a game with different fielders, whether you're playing either in or back, you see the cleat marks, and that exactly hit a cleat mark in the dirt and kicked away from him.
Maybe
we might have to look and see if Jared Walsh had done that.
I was going to see maybe a cleat mark that Walshy left behind.
Yeah, just go digging around there a little bit.
Got incredible aim. Well, he's hit the ball hard the last two at bats, and that's good to see. It's Anthony Rendon. He's got a hit in this game off Bieber. And just foul. Hope you're enjoying this one. Mark Guba's up, Patrick O'Neill, Erica West, and our Valley Sports crew. 3-0 Angels. Game 1 of 4 with the Guardians.
Well, even at 93, cutter. Boy, at one point with Shaw and Miller in their bullpen, and that run to the World Series before eventually losing to Joe Maddon Chicago Cubs in 2016. Those two were in every single game, Shaw and Miller.
That was a great series. And don't swing and a miss. Now, in case you're wondering, we didn't see him yesterday, but we will see him tonight. Raisel Iglesias is up, and he will pitch the top of the 9th inning with the Angels leading 3-0 currently. He threw 10 pitches Saturday night,
Save situation yesterday. Madden went to Bradley. And Iggy is up, ready to go. Rendon.
Part of the order for the Guardians in the 9th.
It's out of play.
It's a great job by Myers and Tepera. 6 up, 6 down.
Well, you're not kidding. Jose Ramirez will lead off. And Reyes and Naylor. Don't want that man to beat you. Get the sense that Rendon's going to heat up as well.
Yeah.
Covering from that offseason hip surgery. Wants to play 150, 155 games. That's his goal. And ground ball, third base. Ramirez over to second for 1, over to first for 2. So Walsh is retired. 5-4-3, double play, 2 down.
Eventually going to start seeing from Anthony Rendon to start lift the baseball. He's hit a lot of ground balls of late, trying to get his timing and the rhythm together at the plate.
I read something from Jeff Fletcher, OC Register, about Rendon. Didn't feel like he's quite there strength-wise in his legs, in reference to a couple of throws. We saw an error in the Baltimore series. You don't normally see that from him. He's such a good fielder. He'll get his strength back.
Remember, didn't play a lot of games last year. Had that hip surgery and didn't play a lot of games in spring with a condensed spring, so not many at-bats. So all the numbers you see from a lot of hitters, that's why you're seeing numbers down. I still firmly believe for hitters as far as batting average, slugging percentage, home runs, all in part because not a lot of reps in spring training and a condensed spring training. Even though they always say spring training is for the pitchers to stretch it out, well, pitchers are already ready to be able to throw secondary pitches, and you're seeing changeups so effective, breakables so effective, because the timing is still slightly off for the hitters. That'll change real soon for the hitters.
I hope you're right, because the league batting average, an all-time low, right around 230, 232. That would be historic lows. Ground ball, Ramirez throws out Duffy. So we head to the top of the 9th. This man, he has one job, and he does it well. Raisel Iglesias is in for the Angels save next.
To the track, to the wall, and he made the catch.
Catch your team.
Oh, what a play.
My team.
He leaps and makes the catch.
Every team.
As good as it gets.
Only on MLB Network.
Here at MLB Network, we believe routine checkups are key to staying sharp.
How you doing, Doc?
Hi, Doc.
Hi, Fred.
Hey, how are you?
Great.
All right.
Take a crack at the bottom line, please.
Oh, got it. Highlights.
And the next line.
Oh, that's easy, Doc. Post-game interviews.
Perfect. How about this one?
Quit playing games, Doc. MLB Tonight.
MLB Tonight, bringing the new season into focus. Only on MLB Network.
Awesome job by Michael Lorenzen, his walk-in song to get ready. And you're seeing that battle of the OC pitchers now. Raisel Iglesias trying to close it out.
Well, this game has been sublime.
Yes, it has. Way to go, Patio.
Outstanding pitching. So, Raisel Iglesias looking for his third save. New shortstop, Squid. Andrew Velasquez comes in. He's got Squid on his glove. Tyler Wade moves over to second base. And here's an all-time great matchup. Raisel Iglesias facing Jose Ramirez. Angels leading 3-0, top of the 9th inning. Looking for some paint, doesn't get the call. Ramirez pops it up. Anthony Rendon. One down.
That's what makes Raisel Iglesias so special. Fastball just off the corner, was a ball 97, then follows it up with a slider. He's got 3 out pitches and 3 different arm angles, 2 different types of changeups, split finger changeup, that one goes down and one fades away. Been a former starter, can bring all 3 of those pitches with different arm angles every single game to the mound.
Same pitch, different arm angle.
Yep.
Man. Framiel steps in, 0 for 2. He saw his frustration. He struck out back in the 6th and shattered his bat. 0-2. That is precisely what you're talking about, Gooby.
And he doesn't waste pitches 0-2. He tries to finish off the hitter as quick as possible. There it is.
You mean like that?
He's so much like Greg Maddux was always a believer. Why waste a pitch? You're 0-2, finish off the hitter on 3 pitches. And he did so here. Little slider, catch in the zone, punch out, looking.
Velasquez was at the shift on way in left field. Now he's going way over to right field. He's getting his steps in. 2 down. 3-0 Angels. Game 1 of the series. Iglesias facing Naylor. Strike 1. We've seen pitching, defense, and 2 home runs from Taylor Ward. Little ground ball. Tyler Wade is there. Lobs it over. Ball game. Iglesias the save. Tremendous pitching in this game. And Taylor Ward with a multi-homer game. Light up that halo. 3-0 Angels win.
And put it in perspective, a 2-home-run game against Shane Bieber for Taylor Ward. Michael Lorenzen, outstanding job on the bump. The bullpen, 9 up, 9 down. Great job by the bullpen tonight. But Taylor Ward, the story, swinging the bat. Anytime you can make any consistent contact against Shane Bieber, that's a plus. But they had 2 home runs, counting for all the runs. Outstanding.
In the 5th inning against Shane Bieber, full count, solo shot. Straw tries to do his Peter Parker impression, but it hit the wall. Cowboy hat, and then Gooby in the 7th.
This faded on the inner half, and he lifted that one out well at left center. 2 home runs in the game for the leadoff hitter.
2 home runs for Ward. Deuces are wild. This game took 2 hours, 22 minutes. And our Toyota player of the game is standing by with Erica Weston.
Thanks very much, Patrick. Taylor, your first career multi-home run game. I know you told me a few days ago you don't care where in the lineup that you're hitting. You're just happy about the opportunity. But it looked like you're pretty comfortable in that leadoff spot tonight.
Yeah, like I said, it doesn't matter. Every position in the lineup is the same to me, and just trying to keep it that way. Every situation is the same, and I think once we get to the playoffs and the World Series, we keep it all the same, and we get going. So
Both of your home runs tonight come on a 3-2 count. How are you able to be so calm in those situations?
You know, just all the repetitions, you know, coming up, leading to this. It just kind of comes second nature, seeing the pitches and, you know, sticking in my zone. So I was able to do that tonight.
How about your starter, Michael Lorenzen, on the hill? 6 scoreless from him tonight, going pitch for pitch against Shane Bieber. How fun was it to see him go to work tonight?
It's awesome. I mean, Michael had a great game. Our pitching staff had a great game. Anytime you can shut out a good team like that, it's great. So hopefully we can continue to do that and move forward.
Thanks for the time, Taylor. Nice job.
Thank you.
All right, Patrick.
Erica, thank you very much. T-Dub staring us down. What a game for Taylor Ward, leading things off. 2 home runs off of a former Cy Young Triple Crown winner at Shane Bieber. Michael Lorenzen picking up the win. That 6th inning was dynamite. And then 2 home runs off of Shane Bieber. That's our player of the game. You're going to want to stick around because Angels Live postgame with Kent French, Mark Langston, Mark Gubaza, and Erica Wesson's coming up right after this.